Watch, they are going to have a great time, and it's going to be a fun place to be for everybody.
And we look forward to it here this afternoon, the Labor Day Classic from Calgary. Peter?
All right, guys, some interesting selections. We'll see how you do over the course of the week. We do know that the Calgary Stampeder cash registers are ringing steadily. The largest walk-up sale for one game in the history of the franchise. They sold 13,000 seasons, but they'll be close to 30,000 here today. It'll be a great football game, a Labor Day confrontation. The Edmonton Eskimos to the Calgary Stampeders. The Highway 2 Series, if you like. And don't forget that local blackouts are in effect, so please check your local listings. The Eskimos and the Stampeders coming up from McMahon Stadium. Indeed, a tradition of excellence. The Edmonton Eskimos have won 10 Grey Cup championships, including 5 in a row between 1978 and 1982. And in 1989, the Eskimos are once again showing signs of invincibility. Near the halfway mark of the season, the green and gold threatening to run away with the West Division race.
Coming in here on Labor Day, and we're on a roll. We're 7-1, and we're playing the best ball in the league, and there's no way we're going to let Calgary beat us here and get back in the race, because it's like this league is they can go 17-1 and then lose the Western Final, not to the Grey Cup. So our only way we're guaranteed our way to the Cup is just to pound every team every week and not give anybody any idea they can beat us.
Well, for me, growing up in Calgary, it's very special to be playing in this intense rivalry. Eskimos are playing very well. They embarrassed us last time out, and we're looking to avenge that loss.
Presents the Foster's CFL Game of the Week. Brought to you by Foster's Lager, proud to bring you the best in the CFL. On a glorious Labor Day Monday, welcome to Calgary, Alberta, and McMahon Stadium, a tradition on Labor Day. The Edmonton Eskimos and the Calgary Stampeders. Welcome, everyone. I'm Peter Watts. The Edmonton Eskimos rolling along atop the West Division, a record of 7-1, far and away the best defense in the league. And Tracy Ham's getting better and better with every passing game. And pass the ball and run the ball, he does very well. They have a very good offense as well. The Calgary Stampeders, since they lost so badly here 54-4 on the 21st of July, have come back to win 5 of their last 6 games. But nothing matters in this town and with this team unless you beat the guys from up the road. It'll be a tall order, but they're up to the task today. Let's go upstairs and look at some great matchups in this one. Here's John Wells and Leif Pedersen.
Okay, Peter, here's the bottom line in this one. The Calgary Stampeders will have to beat the Edmonton Eskimos if they plan on getting to the Grey Cup in 1989.
Well, they really will, and you know, they trail the Eskimos by 4 points going into the Labor Day Classic here, and I think if they have any hopes of trying to capture first place in the West, they really have to win this game this afternoon.
All right, let's set this one up for you this afternoon, beginning with the Eskimo offense and the boys up front, led by Hector Pache and company. These guys are having another solid year.
Well, they really are. You know, there's so many stars on that Edmonton offense, and I thought it was time to take a look at the offensive line. They've only given up 16 quarterback sacks, as you see there. Now, let's take into effect, too, that they have Tracy Ham as a quarterback, and he gets away from a lot of pressure, but these 5 guys have done a great job.
Now, to try and curtail Tracy Ham, the Stampeders will introduce a guy with a great name in Canadian football to his first game ever. His name is Flint Fleming.
Flint Fleming will start at the defensive end, and so too will rookie Lou Cafazzo. He gets his first start tonight, and the Stampeders are so worried about Tracy Ham, they feel the only way they have a chance to win this game is to try and contain his running abilities.
No one has been able to run against the Edmonton Eskimo defense this season, so it is up to Tim Petros and Lorenzo Graham to try and get that job done this afternoon.
Well, it's imperative, John, if they're planning to win this game as well, because you look at Saskatchewan and Hamilton, I mean, they can throw the ball 50 times a game and win. Calgary cannot. They have to run the ball. Lorenzo Graham him as a good runner. It just depends if the guys up front can open some holes.
Defensively for the Eskimos, Smarty Pants, find a weakness here.
Well, John, you can't find a weakness. We can't highlight anybody on that defense because all 12 guys play great. There you see the numbers. They lead the league in so many categories. I think the most significant one is they only allow 13.9 points a game, and they are super.
A Labor Day tradition at McMahon Stadium, the Eskimos and the Stampeders. Peter?
Thank you, John. Look forward to a great game. So will close to 30,000 who have showed up to watch. A lot of fans from Edmonton here as well. Eskimos and Calgary. Kickoff coming up from McMahon Stadium.
Labor Day at McMahon Stadium in Calgary. It is perfect for the Edmonton Eskimos and the Calgary Stampeders to renew an old fall classic, the rivalry of Labor Day. Ken Lazarek will be the head referee this afternoon, and he'll be ably assisted by Bill Wright, Art McAvoy, Roch Hutchinson, Bud Steen, and Brian Donley. The Eskimos won last year. The Stampeders won the Labor Day Classic in 1987, and Calgary has more to prove to the Eskimos than the Eskimos do to the Calgary Stampeders. Marco Sincar will kick off for Edmonton. And it comes down to Lorenzo Graham. Graham at the 25. Graham still standing as he crosses the 40 to the 42. And he was stopped by Mike McLean. Danny Barrett will quarterback the Calgary Stampeders. He missed last week. Tom Porras stepped in and beat the Hamilton Tiger Cats. But Barrett is back. First down, Calgary. 43. Barrett has time to throw, and he's on target. But Willis can't hang on.
Barrett pass intended for Larry Willis.
Up front for the Stampeders, they have improved with the addition of one player in particular. That is left tackle Lloyd Fairbanks. Another veteran up there, Dan Ferroni, who's been here all season long. Mike Palumbo, Craig Watson, and Leo Blanchard round out the front five.
Well, a nice thing for that group, too, is they've been together for 5 games now, and they get to know how each other plays. And they've done a pretty good job protecting the quarterbacks, but, boy, the receivers are going to have to do a better job hanging on to the football for Danny Barrett.
This is 2nd and 10. Barrett has all the receivers out. Marshall Toner slightly overthrown. Barrett had the right idea. Don Wilson was covering, and the Stampeders will be forced to kick it away after 2 passes.
Well, if you look at the first 2 offensive plays for the Stampeders, pretty impressive. Larry Willis should have caught the first ball, and Marshall Toner made a nice try for that one, but at least they had the right things called initially against that tough Edmonton defense.
Brent Manage, a left footer, and this is Tony Hunter, bobbles it at the 25, and Hunter is going nowhere. Good cover by the Calgary Stampeders special team.
47 yards on the foot by Brent Maddox.
So enter Tracy Ham and the Edmonton Eskimo offense.
He gets 6 yards to the 27.
He is a dangerous quarterback. Young Mr. Ham in his 3rd season in the CFL.
Well, I think the thing that he has done so well now is he's been selective when he runs the football, and they always seem to be for a big play.
Eskimos first down at the 27. Ham swings it out to Chris Johnstone. And Johnstone is hit hard as he crosses the line of scrimmage. That was Tank Landry making his presence felt early in this ballgame.
Howard Fields did a nice job to turn it back in, and the Tank was having another super year, 58th tackle of the season, 2nd in the Canadian Football League. Tracy Ham comes into the game as a 51% passer, 12 touchdowns and only 8 interceptions, a nice ratio.
2nd and 10 for the Eskimos at the 27. Hunter in the right, the wide receiver. A handout. Johnstone on a draw comes up a yard short of the first down. And Flint Fleming makes his first tackle in Canadian football. I love the name.
You do, you know, and I asked him before the game, I said, okay, now, Flint, what's the real name? I was expecting George or Fred or Harry. And he says, no, Flint is on the birth certificate. So that's it, Flint.
His mother and father must have known he was going to grow up and be a football player.
Well, you know what he said? He said, I had 2 older brothers, and they wanted to call each of them Flint, but they didn't like the name, so they finally said, well, little Flint, you get it.
Jerry Corrick on 3rd down will step across the 20 for Edmonton. Not a deep kick. This is Andre Alexander, number 7, has some difficulty finding the football and draws a flag. Loose ball, and racing to the end zone is Corrick. Now, Corrick was stopped at the 5. I wonder who was within that 5-yard restraining area. Could have been Michael Souls, number 32.
Looked like Michael Souls got caught. And that's a nice break for the Stampeders. You know, you like to field those punts in the air, but they got the next best thing. You fool around with it and draw the tacklers in and get the 15 yards.
38, first down Calgary.
Holding charge against the Eskimos.
Well, let's look at the toughest defense in Canadian football right now. The Edmonton Eskimos added a couple of players from the BC Lions to strengthen a team that is already very solid with Stu Hill, John Mandarich, Brett Williams, Greg Stuman up front. Linebackers like Ruck, Bass, and Braswell, and then a secondary with the newcomer Francis back there, who was an All-Canadian last year. Tough defense. 1st and 10 for Calgary. This is Lorenzo Graham. Pretty good run for Graham. The Eskimos do not give up substantial yardage against the run.
Well, I mean, they only allow 57 yards a game through 8 games this season, and that's a pretty paltry sum, and they do a nice job. Well, you know, I think the most impressive thing when you talk about Edmonton's defense is that 13.9 points given up a game. I mean, that's unheard of.
They lead the league in several other defensive categories. 2nd and 6 Eskimos, or Stampeders rather, at the 47. Barrett, off target. Intended that for Larry Willis, number 89. Pressure on Barrett.
He took a good hit up the middle from Braswell, 44. Stu Hill was also there, and I think that oncoming pressure forced that ball a little high. That's twice now Danny Barrett's been high on his throws, and that means he's just not stepping up on that front foot. Throwing everything off the back foot, and that sails the football.
Stampeders, thank you for your support in this area.
Manich has trouble, but gets it away. Bouncing near the 35, Tony Hunter tries to draw a flag and doesn't get one. It bounced back. So the Eskimos begin with decent field position. Out across the 35, near the 37-yard line. 1st down Eskimos when we return. So far, no score at McMahon. Larry Kuharek beat the Edmonton Eskimos here on Labor Day in 1987. He remembers the score as if it were yesterday. 29-20.
That would have been one of the highlights in his coaching career, but I think he's done a nice job here. He's been able to bring in a few veterans on that ball club that I think have really settled the rest of the team down. I'm talking about guys like Howard Fields and Doug the Tank Landry, Kenny Ford, who came over from Hamilton. They've got a nice blend on defense, and offensively, Danny Barrett has been everything they hoped he would be. I mean, he is not going to be an all-star quarterback by any stretch, but he's done enough things well to lead this team to a 5-3 record with a little help from Tom Press.
For more information on this trip, see page C49.
Larry Kuharek has been an easier-going guy, even at the outset of this football season, when he started off 0-2.
Yep, no, he has. He's loosened up a touch. Edmonton, we mentioned, John, at the top. If there's one problem they might have, it's at the wide receiver spot. 2, for all intents and purposes, Brookings playing there, and Keith Wright, and number 88, Tony Hunter.
1st and 10 for the Eskimos. 3 wide receivers left. And Chris Johnstone gets the call. Johnstone piled up near the 41.
Johnstone, the ball carrier.
Tracy Ham has some interesting weapons to work with, and Craig Ellis and Tom Richards, the inside receivers. He has Reggie Taylor and Chris Johnstone as his running backs, and outside the 2 inexperienced wide receivers, as Lee mentioned.
I don't know how he can keep the ball happy. You know, I mean, Ellis is having a great year. Tom Richards has really come into his own, and of course, Reggie Taylor, well, he's been the breakaway back that they've been looking for the last few seasons.
From the 40, 2nd and 8 for Tracy Ham. Time to throw. Now can he get out? Up the middle, has a first down for Craig Ellis. Ellis is the leading Eskimo receiver, and he is stopped by Junior Thurman, number 2.
And complete to Craig Ellis.
A gain of 22 yards, biggest play of the ball game so far.
What a find Craig Ellis has been for the Edmonton Eskimos this year. He was just sitting around, not doing anything, played a little flag football last year, coaching his kids' team, and what does he do? He comes into the league in 1989. That's his 42nd reception, 7 touchdowns, pretty decent.
This is Reggie Taylor, first carry, and Taylor is stopped by a charging Stampeder defense. Tried to run at the middle, and Doug Landry stepped up from his middle linebacking spot to make the stop. Reggie Taylor averaging 6.9 yards a carry.
That's pretty good, and he's going against a defensive line that's got a couple of newcomers, Louis Cafazzo and Flint Fleming at the defensive end. Mitchell Price, of course, been there all season, along with Eugene Beliveau. The linebackers are solid, but the lack of the pass rush has really hurt them.
Here's Landry after Ham. He's got him at the 50. Stampeders' biggest play of the ball game, a loss of 12.
I think they're really going to have to do quite a bit of this afternoon. You know, they're not going to get the pressure on Ham from just the front 4. They're going to have to bring a few guys. The Tank is an excellent blitzing linebacker, comes right up the middle. He's got the speed to run down a Tracy Ham. I think the Stamps are going to really have to count on the blitz to provide the pass rush for them this afternoon.
Correct. He'll kick it away for the Eskimos from his 35. Andre Alexander, number 7, the lone man back for Calgary, has troubles again, and I think Alexander came up with the ball. Now the Eskimos have recovered. McLean was down. The Eskimos get a big turnover. 2 miscues by Andre Alexander, and the second one very costly to the Calgary Stampeders. Edmonton a first down at the Calgary 25 when we return. Both teams still trying to hit the end zone. Tough break for the Calgary Stampeders. You see Andre Alexander, number 7 there, trying to hide after fumbling this ball.
Well, he won't have trouble. He's only 5'5". He should be able to find a spot to hide. But look, though, Mike McLean came in and just wrestled it away from him. You know, Edmonton on the season is plus 16 in the takeaway, giveaway category. Simply means they've taken the ball away 16 more times and they've lost it.
That is a tough break for Calgary at this point.
It is. You know, when you're playing a team like Edmonton, you don't want to give them easy ones, easy points. I mean, here now they're first down for 25. You got to say this is going to be at least an easy 3 that they've given them. And Calgary's going to have to make Edmonton work for all their points this afternoon. They're the highest scoring team in the Canadian Football League.
8:37 remaining in the opening quarter. The Eskimos with a first down. Calgary 25. Ham will throw over the middle. Has his man. And the Eskimos have another first down thanks to Craig Ellis. Check that. It's Tony Hunter, number 88.
We talked about the offensive line in the opening of the show today, and that time on the play action, they gave Tracy Ham all kinds of time to throw the football, and he's going to pick out one of these 4 speedy receivers. Look at this. So much room. Good sight lines for him downfield. A nice catch by Tony Hunter.
Eskimos first and goal to go thanks to Tony Hunter at the 8-yard line. This is Reggie Taylor looking for the end zone and stopped near the 4. Greg Peterson came up from his safety spot to make the stop. Taylor having a very impressive season for the Eskimos with 667 yards coming into this ball game. Blake Marshall moves into the backfield. Ham looks to the end zone and fires for Keith Wright. He makes the catch. Eskimos into the lead on Keith Wright's touchdown. He beat Junior Thurman for his 3rd touchdown of the season. Tracy Ham making short work of the Stampeder defense.
That's a great throw by Tracy Ham. Laced to the outside where the receiver just keeps fading towards the sidelines, and the cornerback has just that much longer to go to try and break it up. And although Thurman was right there, got the handoff, Keith Wright made a super catch, bobbled just a little bit, but was able to hang on. And boy, you know, they convert that turnover in a hurry, and that's all the good teams do it.
Jerry Korek makes it 7-0 for the Eskimos with 7:20 to go in the opening quarter.
A nice throw by Tracy Hamill. Just laid it to the outside. Keith Wright spent the entire 1988 season with the Eskimos on the practice roster. He's a good size, 6 foot, 195, got nice speed. Only his 15th catch so far this season, been in and out of the lineup. That's his 3rd touchdown. Tracy Ham, well, he's off to a fabulous start. 13 touchdowns. Got the nice ratio going, only 8 interceptions. Once again, good time to throw. You're not going to get to Tracy Ham when he just steps back from the center and lets it go quickly. Had a pretty tight spiral, but it doesn't really matter. Keith Wright just goes up and outfights Dennis Jr. Thurman.
7-0 Eskimos. As Marco Sinkar prepares to kick off to Hopkins at the top of your screen, or Graham on the near side. It comes to Hopkins at the 25. Tries the short side, finds a little room, and ends up with decent field position for the Stampeders. Mike McLean again leading the Eskimo tacklers. And Tracy Ham making quick work of the Stampeder defense on the scoring drive to give Edmonton a 7-0 lead. 25 yards in 3 plays.
First and goal is back to the bigger score. You can win up to 5,000 for the game of the week.
First and 10. Stampeders at the 41.
Here at McMahon Stadium. First and goal, the people who play to win.
Barrett has time, now has to get out of there. Barrett gets away. Danny Barrett, first down. Danny Bass put the stop on the Calgary quarterback.
Well, in my chat with Danny Barrett in the CFL report today, I asked him, I said, do you feel like you have to run today to win the ball game? And, you know, he said, yes, I do at some points. I'm going to pick my spots, and did a nice job there to get away from Mandrich and Larry Ruck and picks up a first down. And in my opinion, he will be the key to this game. If he can run, they got a good shot.
First down Calgary from the 53. Charge on Barrett as he fires out for Graham on the far side. Graham lost the ball. The Eskimos should have it. They do. It bounced around. A couple of Eskimos had a shot at it. But it is Mike Hildebrand, the safety, coming up with a second turnover of the game.
But Larry Ruck initially makes the good play. Turns Graham back to the inside. Then Mandrich, Stu Hill, I'll take a shot at him. The big hit comes from Greg Stuman. And then it's number 24, Mike Hildebrand, with the fumble recovery. Second turnover in the first quarter. And
second turnover in 2 minutes.
It's going to be a long day for the Stampeders if they keep doing that.
First down Eskimos at the 50. Tracy Ham on the run. And fires for Keith Wright, complete. Inside the 40 at the 36. Wright might be in for a big afternoon. He has the touchdown for the Eskimos. And a big gain there.
Nice style of offense, though, for Tracy Hammer. They get him outside the pocket on the run. And he can do either pass or throw it. That time Keith Wright open. And there you see his numbers coming into today, 14 catches.
And a 24-yard catch there.
So he's up to 16.
From the 35, first down Eskimos. This is Reggie Taylor with flags down, and Taylor going nowhere.
Reggie Taylor
Hopkins up to help out. And so was Ken Ford.
Flag down.
Offside, Calgary, first down repeated.
Boy, oh boy, mistakes, one after the other.
First and 5 now for the Eskimos.
The nicest part about this Edmonton offense for a young quarterback like Tracy Ham, and you know, he's still only in his second year, they run the ball for over 174 yards a game, and boy, does that take a lot of pressure off him.
Blake Marshall for a couple. Eugene Beliveau made the stop on Blake Marshall that time.
They'll alternate usually every other series between Blake Marshall and Chris Johnstone. Blake Marshall, of course, in his 3rd year from the University of Western Ontario, where he was an all-star for 3 years in a row. This year, in spot duty, he's got a couple of touchdowns.
This is 2nd and 3 for Edmonton, just inside the Calgary 30. And Marshall should have the first down.
Marshall again carries.
These two teams will regroup quickly and meet at Commonwealth Stadium in Edmonton on Friday night.
Yeah, I would hope that you fans in Edmonton would get out to see that game. Friday night, the return match. The Stampeders travel to Commonwealth. Should be a good one.
A matter of inches for the Eskimos.
Front four of the Calgary Stampeders did an excellent job here. Watch the penetration coming off the ball. The inside guys, Bellabo, Price. The tank even jumping in there at the end.
3rd down, less than a yard to go for Edmonton. Some early movement. Flags are down.
Flags down on the play.
I would think the Stampeders jumped a little quickly there.
I think that's a pretty good guess. Was that a guess?
Offside, Calgary number 45. First down, Edmonton.
Well, we're going to look at it here and see if you were guessing or not. Ah, there they all go. That's Brunel Quinn and Luke Cafazzo. Didn't really matter, I don't think.
3:59 left in the opening quarter. The Eskimos with a first down at the Calgary 21. And this is Reggie Taylor on the outside. Down to the 12. Brunel Quinn over to make the stop.
Well, that's a tough play to run. That's really a long delayed draw play and break it back out to the right side. Blake Dermott, the right tackle. A nice job to seal the inside off from Clint Fleming. Reggie Taylor, who's had a super year, and that's the kind of back they've been looking for a few seasons. The kind of guy that can take it all away every time he touches the football, and he possesses that talent.
Tracy Ham told me before the game that Taylor is his most important offensive weapon. And I guess you can see that in the running game that the Eskimos have been able to establish.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that running game has made everything else function nicely for the Eskimos.
They've got 2 great slot backs in Ellis and Richards, but Taylor seems to make it happen. 2nd and short, and it'll be another Eskimo first down.
First down for the Eskimos.
You know what I find interesting, John, about this Edmonton team? They lead the league in scoring and have scored every point via the offense. They haven't had a special teams touchdown. They haven't had a defensive touchdown. I mean, when you're leading the league in scoring and doing it that way, you know the offense is functioning perfectly.
It's also interesting when you look at the Eskimos as having the best defense in the league. So it has not been a big play, or at least a point-scoring defense so far, but very steady from start to finish. Here's Taylor. Stopped at the line, but he fell forward for a couple after that. Junior Thurman up to make the stop with the tank, Doug Landry. 7-0 Eskimos.
Well, they are starting to run the ball down the Stampeders' throat. It's interesting to note that in the last 4 games, the Stampeders have not allowed a team to rush for over 100 yards. I would think today that statistic might be in jeopardy.
This is 2nd and 8 for the Eskimos. At the 8, so it's 2nd and goal. Ham looks for right, and they missed by a yard or 2. Left turn just a little bit too late.
That's a tough throw to adjust to. You know, you like to throw it to the outside, as he did in the touchdown pass to Keith Wright, but that time a little too far to the outside. Ronnie Hopkins with pretty good coverage, but when you have to do a complete spin-around move and try and locate the football, you're asking your receiver to make an absolutely spectacular catch, and they couldn't connect. Nevertheless, they will take advantage of that Graham fumble.
Jerry Korick is 100% from inside the 20-yard line. This one spotted at the 15. And he's good again. So Korick adds to the Eskimo total. The Stampeders give up another 3. And the Eskimos jump in front to a quick 10-0 lead at McMahon. Imagine how much fun they'd be having if the Stampeders were leading.
Yep, I agree with you. You were even dancing a little bit there, Wellesley. A couple of moves. I didn't know you had those kind of moves here. Pretty impressive.
Great afternoon for football.
You know, when this stadium's got a big crowd, to me, it's the best stadium in the CFL for the fans just having a good time. At the timeout breaks, I mean, they all get up and dance and hoot and holler, and it's fun to be here. I love this. Beautiful day.
It looks like it's almost full this afternoon. Now they need the Stampeders to get on the scoreboard. 2 turnovers costing the Stampeders dearly. They trail it 10-0 to the Edmonton Eskimos. Marco Sinkar, short kick. This is Hopkins on the return. Ran into Andy McVeigh. Now tries the outside. Is the room out there? A little more as Hopkins gets out to the 45. Pretty good kick returner, Ron Hopkins.
Travels 43 yards with Ron Hopkins on the return.
Well, a great afternoon for it. It's a great afternoon to be down on the sidelines, right, Pete?
Absolutely, John. It's absolutely great out down here. Tom Higgins, the offensive coordinator of the Stampeders, just had a little bit of a wake-up call meeting with his offense. He said, guys, you've made 2 mistakes and given up 10 points, but you're not out of the football game. We get a good drive going, hang on to the ball. There's no telling how much damage we can do to this Eskimo team. So it's up to the Stampeder offense right now to make something happen.
Another turnover, and the Eskimos have it. Lorenzo Graham lost the ball, and that is Greg Stuman coming up with it. 3 turnovers in succession. The Stampeders in trouble early.
Got an option play, and that's a good pitch by Danny Barrett. The only trouble is Graham took his eyes off it when he saw how free Greg Stuman was coming out to cover it. And he cops it up. Stuman gets it, the 3rd turnover, and boy, I honestly think the Stampeders have come out a little nervous today. They know how important this game is to them. They've got the big crowd, and there you see it, and that's going to kill you. Boy, Edmonton now plus 19 in that takeaway giveaway category. That's why they are in first place. One of the reasons why they're in first.
Eskimos with a first down at the Calgary 39. Time to throw, but hand is down. Looked like he had a receiver open, but he waited just a little too long. And that time it was Eugene Beliveau crashing through to deck Tracy Ham. 2nd sack of the afternoon for Calgary.
Well, you know you're getting a pretty decent pass rush when you can get a sack on play action. That time Eugene Beliveau came up with his 7th of the season, 55th straight game that Eugene Beliveau is playing in. Hard to believe he's been around for 10 years now. Originally started with the Montreal Alouettes, then moved on to the Calgary Stampeders from St. Francis Xavier.
Beliveau is shaken up.
Well, will we have a moment here? I know there's a good friend of our statistician, Bobby Layden, watching the game tonight back in Willow Beach in Lake Simcoe. Ruth Layden. And it's her 75th birthday, and she's watching the game with husband Gordy. And young son Bobby would like to wish you a happy birthday, Mom.
Well, we have the birthday greetings open. Vern Blanchard is celebrating his birthday today out there in Victoria. Leo sends along happy birthday greetings to Dad out in Victoria. Tracy Ham to Craig Ellis. Ellis is short of the first down because they needed substantial yardage on 2nd and 20.
I think that shows the maturity of a Tracy Ham. You know, he needed so much yardage, 2nd and 20, whatever, to get a first down, and he couldn't force it in downfield, so he took about 10 of it back with Craig Ellis, and he gets himself in pretty good shape now to try and just pin Calgary deep in their own territory.
David McCrary deep for this kick. From Corrick, McCrary on the dead run, racing up the sidelines. Good return for McCrary, who was pinned deep and stopped by Chris Johnstone. Could have been worse. McCrary gets it out to the 30. That's the end of the opening quarter with the Eskimos jumping in front of the Calgary Stampeders, 10-0. Stampeders have the ball when we return to McMahon. Joe Faragelli and the Eskimos have a 10-point lead on the Calgary Stampeders, but it is Calgary first down. Stampeders begin at the 30. And Barrett hands out to Petros. Nowhere to go. Stuart Hill was right there, number 36 for the Eskimos. And Barrett will rethink that play.
You know, coming into this game, they second in the league in rushing the football. And of course, that's what they would like to do today. I mean, Barrett only averages about 25 throws a game, and on a team that they have around 65 to 70 offensive plays, and that means you've got to run the ball a fair bit. And so far, they haven't been able to do anything against this Edmonton front four.
Gain of 1, 2nd and 9, Calgary. Pressure on Barrett, he's down. Stuart Hill was through.
Well, they give you a lot of different looks up front. They try and confuse that offensive line, and obviously somebody along that right side, Craig Watson and Leo Blanchard, could not handle all of them. And there you see Stu Hill come in between Craig Watson and the center, Mike Palumbo, and nobody there to pick him up but Danny Barrett. That is a tough defense.
Barrett, 1 for 4, equaling 7 yards in the afternoon as the Stampeders have to kick it away. Matic. And this for the Eskimos at the 50 is Tony Hunter. Good tackle. Marshall Toner, outstanding play to pin Hunter back near the 45. Turnovers, a big story of the opening quarter as Calgary coughed it up 3 times. Total yards favoring the Eskimos 105 to 22. And first downs favoring the Eskimos 5-1, plus time of possession as well.
Is Calgary here today?
I think they're here. Actually, they started out, first sequence wasn't bad. A couple of drop passes, however, but the plays were there, and after that, it's been all Edmonton. Edmonton again on first down, hand to the far side. Thurman knocked it down. Wright was the intended receiver.
We talked to Larry Koharic about Dennis Thurman yesterday, and he has come on in the last few games and played a lot better. He's taking some more chances, a little more comfortable back there now. He got burnt early with a touchdown by Keith Wright, but that time able to come over the top and make a nice defensive play. You know, I keep saying Dennis Thurman. It's Ulysses Thurman. Dennis was his brother who played for Dallas for so many great years.
They call this Thurman Jr. Thurman.
I'm going to call him Junior.
This is Taylor coming out of the backfield, and the Stampeders have him stopped short of the first down. My pal Flint Fleming leading the tacklers. I just think that's a terrific name.
Oh, it is a good name. Tough to give him a nickname, though, then, isn't it? He's already got one. That's his permanent name. Nice job by Tank Landry. He's so active from the middle linebacking spot. Already has a sack in this game. Oh, the old Tank. Originally in Hamilton back in 1987, they had to make a decision about him. They had Ben Zambiazzi, who'd been an all-star so many times, and they had Tank Landry. They decided to stick with Ben for another season, and Ben got hurt, and Landry went to Toronto, ended up with the trade to Calgary, but I think it's a mistake that Hamilton always regretted not being able to keep him.
Tank Landry is shaken up on the play.
Having another good year, Tank Landry. He'll be back. 225-pounder out of Louisiana Tech. David McQuarrie. Deep for the Stampeders at his own 18.
Alexander got the hook from the punt returns, didn't he?
Bobbled one and then fumbled one, and so long, Andre, from special teams. Jerry Corrick. Great kick. Corrick traces McCrary right back to the 5. Danny Bass and Mike Hildebrand leading the tacklers.
That's good coverage on that long punt.
12:43 till halftime. The Eskimos in a comfortable lead, but it's early at McMahon.
Ladies and gentlemen, if we got your attention to the show to the field.
Imagine visiting yourself in the future.
You're me. Surprised? Surprised. I'm I'm beside myself. 23 years later. A few more gray hairs, I see. We've earned every one. We earn this lifestyle, too? How do we pay for all this? Freedom 55.
Freedom 55. Protection today, plus a financial program that works, so one day you won't have to. Freedom 55. Talk to a London Life representative.
Here comes your future husband. I don't believe this.
3.
Welcome back to McMahon Stadium in Calgary. John Wells along with Peter Watson, Leif Pedersen. What was the coldest afternoon you can remember in this ballpark, Leif? It is perfect today, but there have been some rather chilly
you know
days.
what there have. I don't recall a real cold one when I played here. The coldest one I played was in the summer up in Edmonton when it was a rainstorm. But we always seem to have, I'll tell you what, we had some storms that would come into this place in a hurry and leave just as fast. Like, what do they say out here? If you want to see a weather change, just hang around Calgary for 20 minutes.
Yeah, if you don't like the weather in the foothills, you wait 20 minutes, it'll change for you. But it's been perfect all day today.
This is absolutely gorgeous. Even the bumblebees came out down the field before the game. It was so nice.
Kind of makes you feel like you'd want to get out and play again, doesn't it, Leif?
No, not that good. But the Eskimos, like I was talking to the Toaster and the Juice John Mandridge down there, and, like they wear those yellow pants, right? Now the Wasps like those yellow pants. And they were all fussing around these guys. See if we can see one on no, they won't go after Braswell. No, they won't go after him. They'll go after guys like Hildebrand. Maybe Larry Ruck, I don't know.
All right, Stampeders first down. Calgary begins at the 18. Time for something to happen for Calgary here now, but a flag is down. Fumble ball and a scramble for it. Now, Braswell says the Eskimos have recovered, but there is a penalty, so we'll sort that out first. There's the Toaster.
Well, Craig Watson pulled from his right guard spot early. They'll decline it. Stu Hill recovered the ball and another turnover. And boy, oh boy, how can you expect to win when you keep shooting yourself in the foot?
4 turnovers in the first half. Stamps may be lucky it's only 10-0.
Well, once again, there you saw Watson move a little early, and gosh, no chance to Toaster. He was there. Toaster could have taken the handoff.
Hill got it. Bass was right beside him. It is a first down for the Eskimos at the Calgary 21. Stampeder defense has been out there a long time already. Pressure on hand to the release man. This is Taylor heading for the end zone. He's there. On the very first play after the turnover, Reggie Taylor into the end zone.
It's only a matter of time when you give a team like Edmonton this many opportunities on the turnovers. The rollout left. Taylor was probably the last of all the receivers that Tracy Ham had to throw to that he was going to throw to. But he finds him sitting out in the flat, and he's able to run the distance and score Edmonton's second touchdown.
An excellent run for Taylor after making the catch. His 3rd touchdown of the year, receiving his 5th overall.
Henry Corrick's conversion attempt is good. Another Tire Town football for the Calgary High School football program.
Reggie Taylor did not play a great deal for the BC Lions last year. He is part of the Dunnigan deal, and perhaps as you look at the offense of the Eskimos, he might be the biggest player in the deal.
Well, it's pretty hard pass to cover. You know, you roll out to the left side and then throw back way across the field to the running back just sitting out there. You'll see gets a couple of blocks at the end, but really it's Reggie Taylor. Just makes an effort to get into the end zone. 21 yards. They make it look pretty routine, don't they?
Outstanding run for another 6 points for the Eskimos. Sincar will kick off again. 17-0. Edmonton in front of Calgary. This is Ron Hopkins at the 15. Out to the 33, and Blake Marshall decked him there.
Ron Hopkins just 20 yards on the run back to the 33.
Ronnie Hopkins only needed 29 yards coming into this game to go over the 3,000-yard mark in kickoff returns, and he has been able to do that. Becomes the 10th all-time in the CFL list.
Stampeders with a first down at the 33. Barrett for Toner. Big first down for the Stampeders out near the 50. Blair was there, and so was Mike Hildebrand.
It's a good call against Edmonton. Sometimes they like to sit, especially with a 17-point lead, and they found a little gap down the middle, quick throw. Hildebrand could not get over quickly enough. I'm sure they saw that from the films last week against Saskatchewan. They blitzed a few times, and Jeff Fairholm was able to beat Mike Hildebrand with not getting over quick enough. Danny Barrett found Toner the same way.
Calgary at the 48, first down. Barrett dumping it off, and Petros couldn't one-hand it. Flag down back at the line.
Second and 10.
It's going against the Eskimos. Rough play. And I think it'll say number 5.
Unnecessary roughness. Number 5, Edmonton. First down, Calgary.
Boy, you are sharp today. Man, oh man. Maybe Stanley gave him a hook with that cast. Maybe gave him a hook with that thing. That's a big, how can he catch a football with that? Well, let's see how many interceptions. Well,
he hasn't had many, has he?
He's got a couple. Yeah. Must have made one-handed catches.
First down Calgary as a result. Now at the Eskimo 46. Barrett looking deep for Toner once more. Double coverage down on Toner as he broke to the outside. It was Jackson and Mike Hildebrand picking up Toner as he slid out.
A lot of people don't realize the Edmonton Eskimos have 18 new faces in that lineup this year. And a couple of new guys playing side by side on defense. Mike Hildebrand and Enos Jackson did a super job in coverage there. Enos Jackson, of course, last week the CFL Defensive Player of the Week with his 3 interceptions against the Saskatchewan Roughriders.
There are 18 new faces, Leith, but not all are rookies.
Oh no, new faces, but you know, it still takes a little time to blend everybody together.
Blair came up with a ball that was intended for Smith. Blair says he caught it, but they rule no interception. The full blitz was on Barrett that time.
Greg Stuman absolutely crushed Danny Barrett. I don't know how he even gets up after that. You're going to watch. Stuman comes right through, clean, bang, right in the chest. See, Stanley couldn't make that catch because he had the cast was on the wrong hand there. But Danny took a heck of a hit there. I hope he's all right.
Great manage. Across the 55 to get this one away. Tony Hunter waits down near the 5 and will have no play. Manage aimed it out of bounds. And the Eskimos continue to lead. It is now 17-0. Edmonton in front of Calgary. 4 turnovers have hurt the Calgary Stampeders in the opening half. They trail 17-0. You Herrick a little bit worried. Now, will we see Terrence Jones in the ball game today?
You know, I honestly believe we won't, unless the Stampeders, for some reason, were to get way ahead. Larry Koharic is really guarded about Terry Jones. He comes in with great credentials, but I don't think he wants to throw him to the Wolves, and the Wolves would be this Edmonton defense. And I don't know, unless Danny Barrett's hurt, I would be surprised to see Terrence Jones.
Reggie Taylor, as the Eskimos start from the deepest position in their zone all afternoon from the 12. Louis Cafasso led the Stampeder tacklers that time in his first starting assignment for Calgary, number 91.
Second and 7.
I mean, there's no call out who you're going to block. We pull them over.
Second and 7. Ham in trouble, gets away, looks to the far side. And another first down as Landry got over to make the tackle.
Well, it came with the safety blitz. Number 24, Greg Peterson, came up the middle. Tracy Ham so elusive, gets away from it. That means Landry has to cover the back. Total mismatch there, and he can't get out and do it. See how Ham gets away from Craig Peterson. Nice throw. Craig Ellis, that's not a good matchup. Doug Landry on Craig Ellis.
Ellis has got some big passes so far this afternoon. From the 34, another Eskimo first down. This is Taylor to the outside. Landry over to make the stop once more.
Frank Landry, get on the tackle on Taylor. Give it a couple.
Reggie Taylor, 5'6", 175 pounds. In his first year with the Eskimos after 2 seasons with the BC Lions, but he didn't see a lot of activity out there in the BC backfield.
Now at the University of Cincinnati, 3 times he rushed for over 1,000 yards in 1 season. So, you know, he's got the potential.
And looking in a screen pass on 2nd and 7. Can't make it go.
Things are heating up down there just a touch. Calgary getting a bit frustrated that time. The tank with a little extracurricular hit on Blake Marshall. You know, you want to invite those defensive linemen upfield, but that time Marshall just couldn't get out quickly enough. Well, maybe, oh, we don't carry it far enough. Tank kind of put the size 11 on the lid of Greg Marshall there. 4 tackles on the day for the Tank, although that was an incompleted pass.
Nice numbers for Jerry Corrick so far this afternoon. He's back at his 22. Another good kick. David McCrary back at his 22. McCrary gets to the outside and lost yards after breaking the first tackle. Michael Souls finally got to him with some help from number 47, Larry Ruck. 7:47 till halftime. A full house nearly at McMahon Stadium. The Stampeders are down by 17. Back live at McMahon Stadium in Calgary, the Stampeders have more problems now after a holding call on the kick return. So Calgary will begin back at the 11. Peter?
John, a little discussion on the bench involving the offensive line and some of the Calgary backfielders during that last series by Edmonton. The problem was the sack of Danny Barrett by Greg Stuman. Nobody picked Stuman up, as you guys called it, and it appears that communication against all of those different Eskimo fronts that we have seen so often from this team is one of the problems. The offensive line picking up its people, but the backfielders being a little slow to get a blitzing linebacker who's coming late. It's a problem that Calgary has to correct, or Danny Barrett will pay a big, big price.
I would agree with that. Danny is the last one in there, and he took a pretty good shot that last night from Stuman. There's Tom Forrest, who engineered that win over Hamilton last week, and for his efforts, he gets put back in the practice roster. Yeah, life in the CFL.
It is Terrence Jones listed as a backup to Barrett this afternoon. Calgary 1st and 10 at the 11. Tim Petros tries to run against that tough Eskimo defense. John Mandarich is there, and Danny Bass.
Well, Greg Stuman's been having a pretty good afternoon. Big hit on Danny Bass, and once again, always doing a good job against the run. He sees it inside, just slides right down the line of scrimmage. Didn't make the initial tackle, but kind of pushed everybody into it.
A gain of 1 for Petros. This is 2nd and 9. Barrett for Petros. And Ruck was charging up on the play. Barrett is down again. This time he may be a little more seriously hurt.
Well, they pick up Greg Stuman along, Lorenzo Graham with a good job, but Michel Bourgeot, number 94, will eventually get in and make the hit on Danny Barrett, and he really takes another one. And, well, boy, I mean, your quarterback just can't keep taking hits like this and expect him to stay in the ballgame. Terry Jones, you better get that arm warmed up in a hurry, and I don't think this is the scenario that Larry Koharic would like to put Terry Jones into. Nevertheless, he has no choice.
Barrett missed last week's game with a minor injury, but did not dress.
You know, we had dinner with the toaster, Brent Williams, last night. We were talking a little defense with him, and one of the things that they try and do, and Don Matthews, of course, coordinates the linebackers in the defensive line, is just to really try and confuse offensive line and backs in their blocking schemes. And so far, you can really see evidence of that this afternoon. Sometimes they'll line up Brent Williams as a linebacker and put Braswell down the three-pointer, and the guys really get confused who has who, and boy, Danny Barrett is paying the price for that.
Terrence Jones. His passing efficiency in Canadian football is 100%, 1 for 1 for 9 yards.
Well, he's 100%, that's nice. He is the 6th all-time NCAA total offense leader. I mean, he's got some great credentials. I'm looking forward to seeing them.
Third down. And Matic, 5 yards deep. Across the goal line, not a great kick. Out at the 32. Flag is down, back at the line.
We had Chris Johnstone and Dan Wicklum having a pretty good one back around the line of scrimmage. Let's see how Ken Lazarick sorts this one out.
20-yard kick, Leaf.
Not very good. Oh, boy. We're going to have a net of 5 yards on this one.
Necessary roughness, 35 Calgary. First down.
Dan Wicklum out of 12.
Well, he's the guy that snaps on third down, and he and Chris Johnstone got into a bit of a beef. Danny Barrett had the hyperextended knee. That's why he missed the game last week, and it looks as though they are attending to that particular area. Pat Clayton, the athletic therapist now, as they like to be called. Not a trainer anymore.
Andy Jonas and the team doctor down there as well. Eskimos with a first down. Ham goes right for the end zone for Wright. Can't bring it in. Thurman was covering, but the pass was a little long.
It will just be a matter of time for Tracy Ham, because he is getting tremendous protection on that rollout. A good scheme. The offensive line just does what they call a bit of a turn-back block and seals everything off to the inside. Tracy Ham then has the ability to get to the outside, and boy, he could have run for 15 if he'd wanted to.
17-0. The Eskimos in front of the Calgary Stampeders. 2nd and 10. Craig Ellis inside the 10. Still a little short of the first down, though.
Well, that last little move when he tried to pick up some extra yards cost him the first down. Be interesting to see what they do. They get a 17-point lead. I would think 4 yards would be enough to make you kick it, wouldn't it?
Almost 4, I guess they need. Take the easy three, says Joe Fergelli, and there's Jerry Clark. Perfect so far today, but he really hasn't been out of his range at a 16-yarder earlier. This one from 17. Three more for the Eskimo total in Edmonton. Thanks to Jerry Corrick's 2 field goals and a couple of converts out in front of the Calgary Stampeders. 20-0.
Trying to see Danny Bass down on the, or Danny Barrett rather, down on the bench. Can't find him. Terrence Jones has the helmet on, so it looks as though we're going to see him. Oh, there he is.
Barrett's still wearing his hat as well, but you wonder if he's ready to go back in. I guess we'll find out soon enough, Leaf.
Well, he's back talking to the trainer, and the back of Tom Forrest, Terry Jones is by the sidelines. I think we're going to see Terrence Jones.
Chris Johnstone being attended to by the Eskimo medical staff.
Well, there's Terrence Jones. He was originally drafted this year in the 7th round by the San Diego Chargers. Now, they wanted him to be a receiver or maybe a defensive back. And he said, not a chance. I'll go up and sign with the Calgary Stampeders because they will give me an opportunity to compete as a quarterback. A lot of people felt that he was maybe the best quarterback available in the NFL draft last year, but the 7th round didn't really indicate that.
This is Ron Hopkins on the return for the Stampeders. Mike Warren over to make the tackle, number 38. Look at Brian Warren, and another flag is down.
Hopkins brought down after a return of 12 by Warren.
Terrence Jones from Tulane will get another shot at quarterbacking in the Canadian Football League.
Unnecessary roughness, 71 Edmonton, first down Calgary.
Keith Wright, a wide receiver in rough play.
Hey, those guys are tough. You know, don't be nasty to the wide receivers.
Call against the Eskimos gives the Stampeders first and 10 at their own 44-yard line.
Where's a good number, too?
Legendary number.
Oh, right? Legendary.
Terrence Jones at the controls of the Calgary Stampeders with a first down. Jones over the middle. Marshall Toner.
Terrence Jones.
Enos Jackson was covering on Marshall Toner.
Jackson defender.
Well, he's nice size, 6'1", 208. Good running ability, excellent on the rollout, spread out, drop back. I mean, he has all the tools. Can he learn against a tough defense like this? I mean, these guys can confuse the best ones.
Lost the ball. The Eskimos have recovered once more. Terrence Jones was hit and dropped the football.
Well, here's what they do to a young quarterback. I mean, if you're a defensive guy, you gotta love it. They say, let's just go right after this guy. Number 24, the middle safety, Mike Hildebrand, comes on a safety blitz. He's already got a sack. As you're watching the left of your screen, kaboom. I mean, no chance for a young guy. I'm laughing because I think it's an awful situation for him to be in the first place, but that's the way things go. The Eskimos with another turnover.
Tracy Ham scrambling out of trouble, looking deep, and fired that one well out of bounds. Calgary fans would like a flag for intentionally grounding the ball. Clint Fleming supplying some pressure.
Your pal.
Flint.
Your pal Flint. You like him.
He's a bright spark.
Oh, I knew it was coming sooner or later. And I knew it would be you. The bright spark. Is that any good?
4:21 till halftime. Eskimos in front 20-0 on the Calgary Stampeders. Ham gets pressure again, and he is down. Mitchell Price getting through. Third sack of the year for Price.
Clint Fleming in on the quarterback sack.
Well, finally, these Stampeders get some pressure up front and do a nice job. From the outside, number 90, Clint Fleming, turns him inside, and Mitchell Price is there. A little extra from Will Johnson, number 81, who's in the game. He was a designated import. Mitchell Price, of course, with the Hamilton Tiger Cats for a number of years, and then coming over. Still makes his home in Hamilton in the offseason.
Jerry Corrick from his 50. McCrary standing at his 1. Showing lots of respect for the Eskimo kicker after a couple of good kicks earlier. This one not quite as deep, but close. McCrary out to the 3, lost the ball. Now it is Calgary football, though.
44 yards on the punt by Jerry Corrick.
One more turnover might have been absolutely heartbreaking news for the Stampeders. Jones will go in again, and how would you like to be a rookie facing a defense like the Eskimos and starting a drive at the 2-yard line.
Well, I don't think I'd like it very much. And this is a tough way to get your feet wet as a pro quarterback. That is the story of the football game on your screen right there.
And it could have been worse with 5 turnovers. It's only 20-0 for the Eskimos. Jones with time to throw. For Willis, picked off. That's turnover number 6 by Stanley Blair on the return. Blair is decked by Lorenzo Graham. A flag goes down.
Edmonton's number 5, Stanley Blair. And there is a flag down.
Three minutes to the half. Braswell decked the newcomer at quarterback, Terrence Jones. No? Braswell on Alexander.
Yeah, he picked on the big one, the 5'5" guy, I think.
Necessary roughness. Number 44, Edmonton, after the interception. First down, Edmonton.
The Eskimos have another turnover. They'll take a few yards off before handing Edmonton the football. Edmonton out in front of Calgary, 20-0. Well, here's what happened to Terrence Jones this time.
Well, you know what? The way Maddox has been punting today, this might not be a bad play when you're on your own 2-yard line. Decent protection that time, but Stanley Blair, cast and all, outfights Larry Willis for the football, makes his 3rd interception of the year. That's a good job by Stanley. Jeff Braswell with a roughing penalty on little Andre Alexander, 5'5".
Stampeders have turned it over far too many times. That's too many over 2 games.
Yeah, 6 is kind of rough.
In the first half. Halftime, we've reached the halfway point in Canadian football. We'll look back at some of the great moments in the 1989 season. Talk to Cam Cole from the Edmonton Journal on how these Eskimos get so good year after year after year.
They plan ahead, they have great scouting, and they have an uncanny knack for knowing how a player will fit nicely into their system.
They're also shrewd traders.
There they go.
The Dunnigan deal explains that.
Yeah, I would say so.
Andre Francis, Greg Stuhlman, Jeff Braswell, Reggie Taylor.
And Leroy Blue, actually, was the draft pick, too.
Blake Marshall out to the 45.
Blake Marshall first.
What I like about the Eskimos is that 9 times out of 10, they get some good young talent in there, and they're able to bring them along slowly and get their feet wet and finally get them ready to take over a bigger role down the road. And talking about a guy like Blake Marshall, a guy like Chris Johnstone, Michael Souls, who's a backup running back, got to play last week and scored a touchdown. They bring these guys along slowly and let them get confidence.
From the 45, 2nd and 8, Ham gets away from one, and then another. Now he's down.
There's your buddy.
Fleming. Now the Stampeders have gotten through to Ham 3 times at least this afternoon. They have had some pressure on him. 4th sack.
That's pretty good, 4 sacks. You know, they've only given up 16 in 8 games, average of 2 a game, and now they're up to 4. Clint Fleming with a good job dragging Tracy Ham down from behind. You notice you get up off the ground and give it the pound on the chest, the Tarzan routine. Is he any relation to our ISO director, Fred Fleming?
I think maybe distant cousins. Another boomer by Jerry Corrick. McCrary rather, back. Has to give up the point.
Jerry Corrick, punt travel 66 yards.
70-yard single for Jerry Corrick, who's been kicking the stuffing out of the ball here this afternoon.
He is the league leader, Jerry Corrick. There you see it. Mark McLaughlin of the Calgary Stampeders not far behind, but Corrick enjoying an excellent afternoon. Super punt.
First down for Calgary. This is Terrence Jones at the control. Calgary at the 35. And Brock Smith has about 6 yards. Stopped by Braswell.
You know, Elsie, the strange thing about this is we've got a minute 54 remaining. It's only 21-0. I mean, it's been all Edmonton, no question about that. The 6 turnovers have dictated that. But, I mean, Calgary is not totally out of this game.
Marshall Toner covered by Don Wilson, and that ball bounced up. Hildebrand was not close enough to bring it down for an interception.
Oh, you know, Larry Koharic, I think, at halftime goes into the locker room and he says, look, guys, I mean, you guys cannot play any worse than that. I mean, this is the worst half of football outside of the last time we played these guys here. But we're only down 21 points. I mean, that's 3 drives. Defense got to play a little better and try and slow them down a touch. And
3 drives and a break, Leaper.
Sure, I'm telling you.
Interception, get it close.
You would think that they might get 1 or 2 breaks in a game.
Tony Hunter for the Eskimos. Flags are down.
I think for Larry Koharic, he has to go in there and be positive. Say, look, I mean, it can't get any worse than this, and we only trail by 21.
38 yards. There is a flag down.
Ken Ford was in the restraining area.
4 yards. We're 9. First down, Edmonton.
Pretty nice afternoon for Joe Paragelli, hasn't it?
He has a pretty nice football team, Leaf.
Yeah, he does.
There are not many weaknesses either side of the ball. Tracy Ham to the far side for Taylor. Short of the first down, and he's more than halfway there.
Well, you certainly have all the talent on the Eskimos individually, and now it's just a matter for the coaches to keep them playing up to their potential week after week. And if you saw the toaster at the beginning of the show today, he says we want to pound every team we play and just let them know that the Edmonton Eskimos aren't going to let down.
Stampeders are 5-3 coming into this game. The Eskimos 7-1. Calgary is the closest team in the Western Division to the Edmonton Eskimos right now. They'll be tough to catch if they beat Calgary here today. Ellis, great catch, and has another first down.
Well, they just play a little game with the defensive backs of the Stampeders. Keith Wright hooks. Ellis goes to the flat. Now if the defensive backs drop off to cover the hook, they throw it immediately out in the flat and let Ellis turn into the running back that he once was. It's good offense, good, solid, basic offense, good execution, nothing tricky.
1:11 to halftime. Ham fires quickly, intending that one for Tom Richards.
Tom Richards, the intended receiver.
A nice job by Howard Fields. He's a veteran. You know, with the blitz coming, he says, no way, Richards, are you getting inside me because I don't have help in the middle. I've got Peterson locked up at the line of scrimmage and coverage. If I let Richards get inside, I'm in trouble. So he bumps him. Incomplete pass. Howard Fields, 2 times All-Canadian. In fact, an All-Canadian last year with the Ticats.
1:09 till halftime. Big play for the Stampeder defense here right now. It is 2nd and 10. Eskimos at the 50. Oh! Landry had a shot at the interception, a little behind him, Leaf, but catchable for a good linebacker, I think.
Well, Tracy Ham took a bit of a chance there. He really didn't see as he turned back to his left. I don't think he saw Doug Landry. That would have been a great catch. Trying to hit Craig Ellis, just couldn't connect. The Tank's been pretty active this afternoon, even though they trail by 21.
Enter Jerry Korrick once more, standing at the 45, 47-1 on the afternoon, and that long 70-yarder helps out the average. McCrary is deep to accept this from Korrick. McCrary had nowhere to go.
I mean, the Stamps cannot get a break. Finally a bad punt by Korrick, but he gets the right balance.
And kept it away from McCrary on the return. So 55 seconds to go till halftime. 21-0 Edmonton out in front of the Calgary Stampeders. And folks, it could have been worse. The Stampeders have turned it over 6 times in the opening half. First down, Calgary at the 15. Into the final minute as Terrence Jones winds up. Marshall Toner had his hands on the ball. He was covered by Wilson. Catchable football.
There's no question the strength of Terrence Jones' arm. I mean, he can let it rip, and that was a pretty good throw to Marshall Toner over the middle. And when things aren't going well, sometimes everything seems to multiply. That looked like a pass that Toner should have caught.
Second and 10, Calgary. 50 seconds on the clock till halftime. Stamps from the 15. And Jones takes a little too long.
It's the defense the coacher told us about last night that they planned on using. He normally is a defensive tackle. They stand him up as a linebacker, and they put Braswell down in the three-point stance. They just try and confuse the offensive line. That time you saw them all trying to make the calls and everything, and they declined the penalty. That's third down. Once again, it's confusion. Braswell, as he always does, letting them know about it.
Stampeder passing attack has not worked well, and that's an understatement. Danny Barrett, 2 of 8 for 23 yards when he went out. And Terrence Jones has completed 1 of 5 for 6 yards and 1 interception. 49 seconds till halftime. Matic needs a good kick here to keep the Eskimos out of field goal range. Matic averaging 42.5 yards per kick coming into the game. Punting from the 2. And this is Tony Hunter on the return. Good kick for Matic. And the Stamps cover well at the 50. Jim Yock led the tacklers. Good kick by Brent Matic, and that gets the Stampeders out of some trouble.
I think the Stampeder defense at this point should really say to themselves, heck, look, there's 40 seconds left. We do not want to give them any more points. Not even a field goal, nothing. Let's try and shut them down here and keep them from adding that 3. We're only 21 down, and if our offense can ever get something together in the second half, I mean, we still may have a chance.
Ham on first down to the far side for Keith Wright. He's forced out inside the 45 by Junior Thurman.
Well, I mean, I honestly believe that they're playing it too soft. Junior Thurman gave him about a 12, 14-yard cushion. I mean, Keith Wright is not Ben Johnson out there. I mean you can play one-on-one with this guy.
First down, Eskimos. Stampeder 45. 36 on the clock. Ham intended it for Richards. He was well off target that time. Stampeder defense breathes a sigh of relief.
Well, I think they have to breathe a sigh of relief, because if they can stop them here on second down, it would be about a 52-yard field goal attempt for Jerry Carrick.
His longest of the season is 48. Second and 10 Eskimos at the 45 of Calgary. 30 seconds left in the opening half. Ham looked to be down and finally stumbles as Peterson came through from the safety spot and got to Tracy Ham. But he almost got away, Lee.
Well, he did a great job here. Greg Peterson once again on the safety blitz. Earlier he had come in with some pressure, and boy, Peterson says, I've got to get him, and he finally drags him down. And Jerry Corrick is in the game, and this will be about a 51-yard shot, it looks like.
And no breeze to kick into. A slight breeze favoring him, but it is perhaps not that substantial at field level.
I think he's got the leg to make it.
You want to put a coffee on this one?
I'll put a coffee on it, sure. I says he make it.
You owe me the coffee. Hopkins trying to catch the Eskimos unaware. Instead of giving up the single, he gets out to the 10, but that's the end of the opening quarter, or the opening half, I should say, with the Eskimos on in front. 21-0 in the Calgary Stampeders. It is halftime at McMahon Stadium in Calgary. Now we send you back to TSN Control in Toronto. Here's Jim Van Hook.
Welcome back to McMahon Stadium in Calgary. It's the Eskimos 21 and the Calgary Stampeders nothing. 6 turnovers by Calgary. The story of a very bad first half, particularly for the red and white offensive unit. Well, the Labor Day weekend marks the halfway point in the season, and that means that there have been some great performances, of course, by various teams and individuals. We thought we'd take a moment to salute some of them in words, pictures, and music. Big Skin Pete, he'll be in action later in Hamilton. This youngster's enjoying the football game. Maybe he's too young to realize he's a Stampeder fan, or maybe he's cheering for the Eskimos. But at any rate, it's 21-0 for the green and gold over the red and white. And Cam Cole of the Edmonton Journal is coming up next on 2 Minutes in the Press Box.
McMahon Stadium in Calgary, installment 2 of the Battle of Alberta. The Eskimos won Game 1 and lead comfortably in Game 2 at halftime at McMahon Stadium. It's a pleasure to be joined by Cam Cole, an old friend from the Edmonton Journal, who has watched the dominance of the Edmonton Eskimos over a year or two. And how good is this Eskimo team in 1989 compared to some of the other teams you've watched in the past?
Well, somebody told me the other day that they're on pace to score over 600 points, only the second team ever to do that. And I can't believe it because the offense hasn't been that great. But the defense keeps giving them the ball so many times, or in this case, the Stampeders keep giving it to them. And they're just going to score a lot of points because they can't help it.
Are Edmonton football fans and reporters a little spoiled? I mean, this is a team that leads a little bit in several categories offensively.
We're spoiled in every respect in sports in Edmonton, and this is a very good football team, and we really shouldn't complain if Tracy Ham hasn't quite got it together yet this year, but they could be leading this one 45-0 with no problem at all.
Calgary defense has played quite well in the opening half. They have had to stay well, or stay playing well, or else it could be a lot worse.
Well, they had the ball. I think Edmonton's been taken out of field position 3 or 4 times on turnovers. If they hadn't blown those chances, or Calgary's defense really playing very well, I don't know what the score could be in this game. I guess I should sit down and figure that out. It'd be way up there anyway.
We have been watching the Battle of Alberta for many years now. How intense is the rivalry in football?
I think it's developing character as time goes on, especially because it's been so dominated by Edmonton over the last, I guess, decade anyway. And Calgary is getting increasingly bitter about it, I think, speaking from an Edmonton perspective. I think Edmonton takes these games very seriously as well.
Some may wonder how good it is for Canadian football to have the Eskimos winning so often, so frequently, the 5 Grey Cups. I mean, they have been the team of the decade, and they are the team heading into the 90s, one would guess, too.
Well, I don't know what the answer to that is, John. I guess from the Edmonton perspective, what do? Do you try to lay down and let the rest of the league catch up? Or I really think the problem has been that there's been so many crisis areas in the Canadian Football League that it's been difficult for those teams to have sound management practices and bring in the kind of players that they need to compete with the Eskimos, who have always been at or near the top in attendance and income and all those other things.
Some would say it is personnel on the Edmonton Eskimos that has allowed the coaching staff to create so many great teams, and I guess we'd have to look back to Frankie Morris and Ray Newman doing such a terrific job in that area.
Well, this may have been Frankie's finest hour, too, because he brought in players like Leroy Blue and Michael Souls, who will be stars of the future in this team. He also signed Craig Ellis, who might be the Eskimos' MVP this year, the way things are going. And Ray Newman continues to bring in great football players. He's here right now. He's got a bunch more that he's bringing in for training camp next year. He's a heck of a guy, Ray Newman.
To many who watch Canadian football, that hardly seems fair when there are more players in backup capacity out there that could be starting for other teams.
Well, they have supplied an awful lot of talent for other teams in this league. It's that kind of a league where a lot of personnel changes hands anyway, but if you look around the league, it's just dotted with players that have come through Edmonton, and I don't think the Eskimos begrudge anyone else the chance, really.
Somehow the Eskimos find a way, and they have found a way in the opening half here at McMahon Stadium to lead the Calgary Stampeders 21-0. Our thanks to Cam Cole of the Edmonton Journal.
The CFL Stars of the Week are brought to you by Texaco. The offensive star is David Williams of the BC Lions. Williams caught 6 passes for 178 yards and 2 touchdowns, including the 61-yarder from Matt Dunnigan. Williams' heroics helped the Lions escape with a tough win over Ottawa. The defensive star is Enos Jackson of the Edmonton Eskimos. Jackson easily had the best game of his brief career, intercepting 3 passes as the Eskimos destroyed the Green Riders. The lineman star of the week is Winnipeg's Michael Gray. Gray led a fired-up defense that sacked Toronto quarterback 7 times and intercepted 6 passes as the Blue Bombers held the Argo offense without a touchdown.
It's the Eskimos 21, the Stampeders nothing at the half. The story was turnovers, all of them by Calgary. And Leaf, that's where we have to start, because it's a wonder in this game that the Eskimos are only 21 points up the way the first half developed.
Well, Peter, I think the only real question is, which one of the 6 do we start with? Well, it started early for the Calgary Stampeders, and Andre Alexander, the newcomer playing slot back, who also works those special teams, had a tough beginning to his CFL career this afternoon. And Jerry Kurick with a good high punt, and Andre Alexander's going to have trouble fielding this one. And trouble started early for Calgary. Coughs it up. Mike McLean, number 45, a backup linebacker, able to make the recovery. Great field position for Tracy Ham, and what the good teams always seem to do quickly is capitalize on that turnover. He's got Keith Wright lined up against the rookie Junior Thurman on the corner, and he fades the ball nicely to the sidelines. Keith Wright with the good adjustment as he catches the opening touchdown of the game, his third of the season. Edmonton out to an early 7-0 lead. Now watch the toaster. Brett Williams at the left of your screen. He follows the guard downfield. Now he almost gets the handoff before Lorenzo Graham does. Forces the ball loose. Stu Hill comes up with the recovery. Now that was the third turnover in the first half for the Calgary Stampeders. Once again, it doesn't take long for Tracy Ham. Roll it to the left. What does he do? Throw back all the way across the field to his exciting running back, number 26, Reggie Taylor. This will be his third receiving touchdown of 1989. At this point in time, it was 17-0 for the Edmonton Eskimos. They had a Jerry Currick field goal, another single. It's 21-0. Now, this is not an insurmountable lead, but I don't know if Calgary can have enough offense to come back in this football game. Peter?
All right, Lee, thank you for that. 21-0, the Eskimos lead the Stampeders. The second half kickoff is next from Calgary.
About that. What do you think?
Beautiful Calgary on a wonderful afternoon. It is Labor Day here, and the Stampeders are laboring somewhat against the Edmonton Eskimos once more. Our game of the week has the Eskimos in front of Calgary, 21-0. Stampeders turning over the football 6 times in the opening half. And we get ready to start the second half at McMahon Stadium. Now, Calgary fans came out with the Stampeders winning 5 of their last 6 games, very enthusiastic about their team's chances. So far, they have had little to cheer about. Second half underway. This is Lorenzo Graham near the 30. Tries the short side and comes up with a decent return, getting out at the 43. Andre Francis was there along with Blake Marshall. And let's see if the Stampeders can do something offensively. Barrett is back at quarterback. He was injured in the opening half. Terrence Jones came in, and he didn't have much more success than Barrett against this tough Eskimo defense.
I think there's only one thing for Danny Barrett to do. I mean, you've got to go to the rollout, and if somebody's open, hit him. If somebody is not, Danny Barrett has to try and take control of this game and run the ball himself.
This is Graham to the outside. Graham gets around one, and Braswell caught him around the neck. Hildebrand also moved up. Numbers from the first half, Lee.
And they are pretty ugly for the Calgary Stampeders. There you see 31 net yards of offense. That will just not do. The Edmonton Eskimos didn't have a great deal. They're usually a little higher than that, 145 for one half of play. Huge discrepancy in time of possession. And, of course, the big stat, as we've been telling you, 6 turnovers to zip.
Good start offensively to the second half for the Stampeders. Graham picks up 6. This is 2nd and 4 at the 50. Barrett unloads in a hurry and has his man in a first down. Larry Willis makes the catch. And it's about time, I guess. He dropped one very early on the first sequence of the ball game.
Yeah, I think that got them off to a bad start. You know, when you're an offense that has struggled a little bit, and you go up against a defense like this, I mean, you have to make the big plays and make them early. Larry Willis dropped one early, but now he makes the catch on the opening drive of the third quarter. And maybe these are the little things that might get Calgary slowly back into this game.
At the Edmonton 54, first down, this is Petros. He finds a hole. He is not quick, but he is tough to bring down. Hildebrand and Rock over to make the stop as Petros gets inside the 40. Nice counter play.
A good 15-yard run for Tim Petros. Of course, not the flashiest running back in the league, but he's able to break one back to the outside. A little bit of holding looked like up front, but no flags. And boy, did the fans ever erupt when he broke through that line. I mean, they are just waiting to break out here and cheer for their Stampeders.
From the 38, another Stampeder first down, and Petros once more. Tough running inside. Stillman makes the stop. Petros near the 31. He is short of the first down, but this is definitely a great start to the second half for the Calgary Stampeders.
Well, I'm sure the Eskimos will think that Danny Barrett is going to roll out a little more in this half, and he did that, but handed the ball off on the delayed draw to Petros, and another good gain on first down. And, of course, that is the key for any offense, is to try and pick up some decent yards on first down.
This is 2nd and 3 at the 38, and Barrett looks ready to throw. Now, he'll run and get the first down. Good play by Danny Barrett as he slides at the 15. Hildebrand up to make his second straight tackle from the safety spot. And Larry Ruck was also there.
That's a great job at the end here. Watch how he plays the game with Larry Ruck. He's covering Lorenzo Graham now. If Ruck leaves Graham to go make the tackle, he throws it. Ruck stayed with Graham, so Danny Barrett took it off for a 16-yard run. And the one thing the Stampeders wanted to do today was to run the football, and they've been able to do that on the opening drive here in the third quarter.
First down, intercepted. Danny Bass. Stampeders had worked down to the 11. And they turn it over once more. Flag after the tackle. Alexander was the intended receiver. He wears number 7. And that certainly takes the enthusiasm away. Sorry, Leif.
You'll have a good look at what Danny Barrett was watching, and that's a bit of tunnel vision. You know, you see your receiver on the crossing pattern. You just do not see the middle linebacker, even though he's right in front of you. I know it sounds hard to believe, but sometimes that happens for a quarterback, and Danny Bass, the recipient of that bad pass by Danny Barrett. That's his 3rd interception of the season, 7th turnover today. Well, they're up to plus 23 in the takeaway giveaway category.
First down, Eskimos. They begin at the 8. Reggie Taylor makes it to the 10, so a gain of a couple for Taylor. The TSN Turning Point this afternoon will be brought to you by Remington. Turnovers could play a part in our turning point later. How about the Tank? Had a chance for a one-hander. Tom Richards, the intended receiver.
Hank's had a couple of good chances today for interceptions. The first one would have been a nice one-handed catch, but that time, I would think if you asked the Tank, he would say it was a catchable ball. He led all linebackers last year in interceptions with 6.
Jerry Corrick deep in his end zone. And they'll try Alexander on the kick return once more. This time he hangs on. He could use a big play and gets one. Stampeders inside the 40 for a first down. Michael Scholes made the tackle. A little redemption for Andre Alexander. The Stampeders still have a long way to come back as they trail the Eskimos by 3 touchdowns in Calgary. And a welcome to our friends at RDS, our cousins from the French section of TSN, Pierre Durivage and Serge Amat doing their first CFL telecast with us this afternoon. They're right next door. That is Serge pointing at you right now. And there's Pierre.
Well, Serge is an old pal from days with the Alouettes when he used to cover the beat. Former president of the Football Reporters of Canada, Serge Amat.
The Réseau des Sports, TSN, counterpart in Quebec. And we welcome them to the family.
Hey, say that one more. That was good.
The Réseau des Sports.
I like that. Very good, Wellesley. Must have been a good student at school. That
wonderful French marks. Math was a little shaky, Leif.
Was for me, too. Now, would we like to see a Calgary touchdown?
We should be all saying, go Stamps, go here and now. Because Calgary has to get back into this ball game trailing 21-0. It is not an insurmountable lead. The defense for Calgary has played well. The offense has not been terrific, although that last drive was reasonably impressive until the interception in the 7th turnover. Here's Dan Barrett at the controls. Barrett gets big pressure, gets it away for Willis. He's got the catch. He's got the 1-yard line. I thought he might have been able to cross the goal line there, Lee, but he gets the 1. Don Wilson dragged him out. And that definitely the biggest play of the football afternoon for the Calgary Stampeders.
Well, you always hope against the blitzing defense that you can get the big play, and they picked up the blitz just long enough for Danny Barrett to have time to throw. There you see it coming from the outside. Braswell, he'll make the hit at the end, but not enough to stop Danny Barrett from completing his 4th pass of the day. Hard to believe only 4 passes, but it was a big one.
First and goal to go. Stampeders at the 1. This is Tim Petros, and he is stopped. Braswell is there. So is Larry Ruck, John Mandarich. They were all there.
Wow, this is a defense that says we don't want anybody scoring against us. Not much running room down there for Tim Petros.
Not many options against the Eskimo defense. The boys in green and gold have only allowed 4 touchdowns passing this season. Second and goal to go now at the 2. They'll try the pitch. This is Lorenzo Graham trying to get out. He is into the end zone, but a flag is down. Lorenzo Graham crosses the goal line. Flag down. Hang on. The Stampeders might be charged. No, they're not. Your friend, the toaster down there, was trying to get me in on the sucker holding call.
Well, you never believe the defensive linemen when they start signaling, and that horse finally getting a bit of running room on the sidelines today. Lorenzo Graham with the touchdown, his 4th on the ground this year.
Now, is that the same horse that took out our old pal Al McCann on the sidelines covering football one day?
That is the same one.
McCann was up and around in a day or so, but he couldn't play golf for a week.
Well, once again, let's have a good lead block from Tim Petros, and Graham makes the right read. He has to outrun Braswell to the end zone if he wants to score. He's able to do so. And the Calgary Stampeders get themselves back into this football game.
21-7 now.
Now there's the old horse. Goes down the sidelines after every Calgary touchdown. John talked about Al McCann, the fine radio broadcaster from Edmonton. He was here today working on the radio broadcast, but Larry Willis was on the injury reserve one year, and Larry convinced the girl to let him get up on that horse and go for a ride, and he ran over our good friend Al McCann.
I think Larry was only supposed to graze the horse.
Yeah.
But he took it for a little trot. On the return for the Eskimos. Keith Wright. And he's out near the 35. Jim Yock, number 30 for the Stampeders, leading the Calgary tacklers that time. Jim, the son of a former CFL coach, Ray Yock, who worked in Edmonton, won a Grey Cup for the Eskimos, also coached in Winnipeg.
The Software Athletics ad on page C43 in your program has been autographed by stand linebacker Ken Ford. You're a winner. Take your magazine to the main Jersey City booth.
Tracy Ham for 145 yards through the air and 2 touchdowns so far. First down for the Eskimos. The 34, Ham for Ellis, and he has been the leading receiver for the Eskimos once more today. Another first down for Edmonton. Junior Thurman was there. And so is Ken Ford.
Oh, what a shot Greg Ellis takes when he is down on the ground. Number 97, Kenny Ford, comes in along with Junior Thurman. Ellis takes a pretty good pop.
14 yards to gain there. Ellis has 6 receptions for 79 so far today. Ham back in a hurry. Wright should have made the catch. A little bit low, but possible.
Well, Ham is really maturing as a quarterback. He's able to step back, and only because of the good offensive line, he can stand back in that pocket and really start to read a defense. And he's looking for the openings. You know, if inside defensive backs slide out underneath the outs, he won't throw it. He'll throw to the hook. That time Harfield stayed inside, so he can throw to the out. He's really starting to have a handle on what defenses are trying to do to him.
Second and 10, Eskimos at the 48. Ham in some trouble, and he gets away. Ham able to sprint for the first down, lost the ball. Calgary has it, and the Stampeders head back the other way. This is Peterson at the 50. No flags down. So the first turnover going for the guys in red and white. Hang on.
Well, Tracy Ham, who does this so well, for the last 3 weeks in a row. Selective running by Tracy Ham. It's a great run outside, but watch, I believe number 97, Kenny Ford, strips the ball loose. Number 24, Greg Peterson, who's having a good year at that middle safety spot, comes up with the recovery. And for once, the Calgary Stampeders get a break.
And a first down Calgary at the 50. Barrett, good work to fake. Tim Petros just tipped away. Enos Jackson covering, and I think he got a couple of fingers on the ball.
He might have got just enough. The way Petros bounced up off the ground, he was a little disappointed he didn't catch it. It indicates that maybe Jackson just got a few fingers on it. Pretty nice touch on that pass by Danny Barrett. You have to loop that one high, and I believe number 29 Jackson did touch it.
2nd and 10 Stampeders at the 50.
This is a big down for the Stampeders. You know, they finally get a turnover, get a bit of a break, and well, would like nothing better than to get a drive going and score some more points, and they find themselves in 2nd and 10, which is not always a nice place to be against this Edmonton defense.
From the 50. Barrett has to get out of there. Mandarich chasing him. He's caught from behind. Lost the ball. It's going to the Eskimos. It is a first down for the Eskimos at the 50. Another turnover. Danny Barrett sits in frustration near the 50-yard line. Calgary trails by 14. That's not the score, that's turnovers that the Calgary Stampeders have given the Edmonton Eskimos, 8 in total. The latest one, a fumble, and the Eskimos have a first down inside the Calgary 50 at the 49.
The next Stampeder home game against the Toronto Argonauts on the Friday, September 15th. Don't be disappointed to get your family back with you early.
Have to feel a little bit for Coach Larry Kuharek.
Danny Barrett on the last play, the fumble. He has to go out of the pocket. Good pursuit by 75 John Mandarich. He will come up with the ball, and I don't know.
Actually, number 66, Dan Ferroni, looked like he might have caused the fumble by his quarterback. He bumped into him. First down Edmonton, Tracy Ham for Taylor. And Taylor gets to the 45, where he was met by Vernell Quinn.
Vernell Quinn had to make an adjustment this year. At the beginning of the season, he was the rush end for the Calgary Stampeders. Lamont Jeffers got injured with the Achilles heel, out for the whole year, and Vernell Quinn has moved to the linebacker spot. That is why this Eskimo team is so tough. That means they've taken the ball away 23 more times than they've given it up this season.
This is 2nd and 6. Ham steps up and fires complete for a first down at the 30. Flag down. Now, is he over the line, Leaf?
That's a good question.
Ken Lazarek will sort things out.
It's coming back. I'm pretty sure of that one.
Legal pass. Passes across the line in scrimmage. 2nd down repeat.
You are sharp today, Wellesley.
6:01 in the 3rd quarter. Could be a big play for the Stampeders. They forced the Eskimos into a 2nd and 16 situation. Right at midfield. And will throw. Now he elects to run. And Ham comes up with a first down. Just when they look to have him trapped, Tracy Ham escapes for a first down.
I'll tell you, number 32, Michael Souls, who's getting an opportunity to play today after his good performance last week, makes an outstanding block. He's going to take out 2 guys. Watch here, 32, the right of your screen, he gets Quinn and Landry. That allows Tracy Ham to pick up the first down. And boy, what a great block for the young rookie, Mike Souls. Of course, from first-round draft choice from McGill University, getting his opportunity now to get his feet wet.
First and 10 for the Eskimos at the Stampeder 33. Draw to Souls, number 32. And the Stampeders read it near perfectly. Vernell Quinn led the tacklers that time. Eskimos lead the Canadian Football League in points at 267, in touchdowns with 27. Not counting a couple today, and touchdowns rushing. And in total offense with 3,344 yards. 4:52 to play in the third quarter. Second and 10 Eskimos. Stampeder 32. Ham. Time to throw. Looks for Taylor. Can't quite get it. Quinn was back a long way to cover Taylor.
He was back, and it was a tough pattern to cover. Taylor out in the flat, and then he turned it upfield. And with his speed, you'd think that was a pretty bad matchup on Vernell Quinn, 6'1", 230 pounds, but he stayed with him stride for stride, and Tracy Ham couldn't have thrown it in a better spot. But watch this, and Quinn will turn back just at the right time, gets his hand up, distracts Taylor. Boy, you cannot ask for a better job from your linebacker than Vernell Quinn was able to perform there.
From 39 yards away, the Eskimos will ask Jerry Corrick to put it through. And he does. And 3 more to the Eskimo total.
Well, once again, 3 more courtesy of the turnover. No question that has been the story this afternoon.
The Edmonton Eskimos in front of the Calgary Stampeders. It is 24-7 with 4:20 to play in the third quarter at McMahon. McMahon Stadium in Calgary, nearly capacity this afternoon. Next week, our game of the week on TSN, the BC Lions in Winnipeg to take on the Blue Bombers. Both teams coming on of late. Bombers knocking off Saskatchewan yesterday. The BC Lions winners last week, and will try and make it 4 in a row as they take on the Ottawa Rough Riders tomorrow.
56, a bit signed by a Stampeder player. You've just won a Molson sports bag and cap.
Well, these two teams go right back at it next Friday night at Commonwealth Stadium, and well, I would encourage you fans out in Edmonton to grab a ticket for that one. You have got a fun team to come out and cheer.
Matter of the moment here, and now can the Calgary Stampeders get back into the ball game. They trail 24-7. Lorenzo Graham on the kick return. Larry Ruck leading the tacklers for Edmonton, and he stops Graham at the 44.
20 yards on the run back to the 45. Larry Ruck made the stop for the Eskimos.
Talked to Lorenzo before the game and said, you must have been happy to get out of Toronto and get an opportunity to play. And he said, no. He said, I would have never had a chance there. They got the thrill. Gil Fennerty, I was doing nothing, so he was very happy. And he was able to come to the Stampeders and be a starter instantly with them. No, he's had about 150 yards a game, all-purpose. Rushing, receiving, kickoff returns. He's done a nice job for that.
On first down, Barrett looks long for Larry Willis, and he looked too long.
Barrett intended for Willis.
Well, for a guy in his first year, number 29, Enos Jackson, has turned out to be quite a find for the Edmonton Eskimos in that secondary. 3 interceptions last week against Saskatchewan, and he was a receiver in college at Memphis State. I believe that helps him. Larry Willis, on the other hand, has caught a ball in every single game he has ever played for the Calgary Stampeders. Pretty impressive record. There's Enos Jackson. 5'9", 175. Little guy, but plays with a big heart.
Second and 10, Calgary at the 45. Barrett in trouble already, and he's down. Hill, Stuman, and Braswell were there. Who gets credit for the sack? Will they share that one?
I don't know how they work that these days, but on that defense, everybody seems to get their turn to shine. Good rush up the middle allows the guys to come in from the outside that time. And Hill with the initial pressure, Stuman gets the cleanup.
Third and a bunch for the Stampeders. Brent Matich is in and standing near his 20. This is Tony Hunter, the lone man back, and he has nowhere to go as the Stampeders surround him, and Wicklum makes the tackle. 52-yard kick, 4-yard return.
Back on the return for the Eskimos. Would not gave the start after a 3-yard return.
Some kind of quarterback is Tracy Ham out of Georgia Southern. Played 14 games in '88. Was hurt a little bit. He was the 8th leading rusher in Canadian football last year. Eskimos with a first down. And this is Taylor breaking out of the backfield.
Taylor carries on the first down.
Better than 5, stopped by the tank and Ken Ford.
Ford and Landry.
You know, I think the Eskimos knew they had a good one in Tracy Ham when they knew he was the only quarterback in NCAA history to run for both over 3,000 yards and pass for over 5,000 yards in his career at Georgia Southern. And he has come along nicely.
Gain of 7. This is 2nd and 3, and Blake Marshall has the first down. So many weapons in that Eskimo offensive scheme. Chris Johnstone usually starts at that running back spot, with Blake Marshall backing him up. Then they throw in Michael Souls. And they're ecstatic with the play of Reggie Taylor.
So, you know, it's important on a team like Edmonton when you've got so much talent to try and keep everybody active and feel like they're a part of a team. And they've been able to do that nicely with giving everybody a little bit of work.
Taylor got away, should have been stopped a couple of yards back of where he got to.
That's the nice thing, of course, about the Eskimo offense. You know, they've got the lead 24-7, and they're #1 in the league at running the football, so they can accomplish a lot of things. They can wear out the defense that's already a little bit tired. They can take a lot of time off that clock, and they can just move it down the field on the ground without taking a whole lot of chances.
Tracy Ham will throw. Almost picked off by number 37, Matt Finley.
Blake Marshall was the intended receiver.
Intended for Blake Marshall, I believe.
Nice coverage by 37, Matt Finley, and he steps in front of Craig Ellis. Looked as though he might have had it. Blake Marshall almost came up with it himself. A lot of fans have traveled down here from Edmonton. I know they had about 6 bus loads come down, and they've got one section of the stadium here where there was a lot of green and white.
Jerry Corrick back near his 30. Andre Alexander to receive for Calgary. Short kick. Alexander tries the outside, now cuts back. Alexander may have a little room. Stopped near the 40. Turned it into a decent return when he could have been stopped about 10 yards back. Marshall made the tackle, a 9-yard return. 37-yard kick that time. Calgary begins at the 40.
Andre Alexander, all 5'5", 165 pounds of him. You know he's a speedster. It'll move, and when he cuts back, he sees a lot of green turf in front of him. That's a pretty good play by 22 Blake Marshall. Andre Alexander doesn't even see him come in. And Blake Marshall, as well as being the fullback in the offense part-time, gets to play all the special teams.
First down, Calgary. And that's Lorenzo Graham for a couple. Stuman is there. So is Hill. Brett Williams, the injured Eskimo.
Brett has quite the wrestling career going in the offseason. Hopes to really expand on that this year. What do they call him? Humongous
and
Mr. Devastation.
Yeah, apparently there's a couple of names some wrestlers go by on the southern circuit. It can be humongous one night in Tallahatchie. And
producer Gord Cutler just mentioned to me, which is so true. I would say humongous is when he's the good guy, and Mr. Devastation is when he's the bad guy. We all know the bad guys get paid more money.
So you wouldn't want to be a good guy every night.
No, he wants to be the bad guy. He looks like he could be the bad guy. I'll tell you, that plate of lasagna he had last night didn't stand a chance.
Who picked up the tab last night? Did the toaster buy?
Oh, no, we treated the toaster.
Speaking of pasta.
He's had a few plates. You know what I find refreshing about Brett Williams? You know, so many guys around the league are so guarded in their comments and so afraid to say anything to upset the opposition. But the Toaster Williams kind of tells it like it is. And he's a fun-loving, free-spirited guy that has played some great football in the Canadian Football League, enjoys himself, always has a good time, and not afraid to talk about it. And I certainly hope that this is not a serious injury for him.
Could be the final play, third quarter. 24-7. Eskimos in front of the Stampeders. This is 2nd and 7 Calgary at the 42. And Dan Barrett has time to air this one out, intended for Larry Willis. Oh, almost a miraculous catch. Andre Francis. Check that. It's Brock Smith, number 85. Smith almost got the Stampeders deep into Eskimo territory. 24-7. Edmonton out in front of Calgary. The fourth quarter coming right up live from McMahon. Fourth quarter is underway. Brent Matich steps across the 30 to get this third down punt away. And Tony Hunter waits at his 23. Hunter has been well covered, but not all afternoon. He breaks this one for substantial yardage. Finally forced out by Lorenzo. A 46-yard kick and a 40-yard return.
Boy, all day the Stampeders have done a nice job on their kick coverage. And that time, I mean, they had a blanket around Tony Hunter, but one little quick move. A missed tackle there, a missed tackle by Tim Petros, and he is off and running. And you do not like to see a net of 6 yards on your punt team or your punter making the tackle.
Hunter coming into the game had returned 55 punts for 555 yards. Add 40 to the total. He's on target to catch Gizmo, who set the Eskimo record last year. Tracy Ham for Ellis. And Peterson was nearby. Ellis really didn't stand a chance to make the catch.
Well, there's the Toaster. You can tell he's the tackle, though. Blood all over the pants.
They like to get messy, though, don't they?
He doesn't mind that. He could be a mud wrestler, too. I think he'd like that.
24-6. Eskimos in front of the Stampeders. We're into the fourth quarter with 14 minutes to play. Edmonton 2nd and 10. Inside the Calgary 50. Ham in trouble, gets away once more, and will have enough for the first down. He has an amazing ability to carry the football at the right time. And just when the Stampeders had everyone covered, receivers were all wrapped up, Ham gets the first down himself.
He's so much more intelligent this year about how he runs the football. I mean, his intent when he goes back in the pocket is to throw that football. There's no question about that. But if the opportunity presents itself, he is certainly one of the best in the open field at running with it. And he is so selectively good with that running game, it makes it tough to defense.
Reggie Taylor carries on first down. Eskimos beginning at the 32. There was a flag on the play.
Offside, Calgary number 74, first down repeated.
Mitchell Price.
So the Stampeder defense, which in the last 4 games had not allowed a team to rush over 100 yards, has seen that streak broken today as the Eskimos now with that Tracy Ham run are at 115 for the afternoon, a little below their per game totals of 174.
This is Taylor on 1st and 5. I thought there was a fumble, but a helmet came loose down there and rolled down near the 20.
Reggie Taylor on the carry.
I think I know whose helmet it is.
This guy right here.
The Tank.
The turret. Tank lost the turret again.
Yep. He is one tough customer, the Tank, Doug Landry.
Just hurt the ears a little bit when the helmet gets jerked off.
Yeah,
huh?
I would think that would hurt a little bit.
So second down and 2 for the Eskimos. The Calgary 25. They get the first down with Blake Marshall. Hopkins cut the legs out from under Marshall, but he had the first down.
Down by Ron Hopkins after a 5-yard gain. First down at the 20. Molson Canadian is again presenting the Molson.
The Eskimos putting one of their typical second half drives together, where they keep the ball on the ground, eat up the clock. Eskimos traditionally this year have, the fourth quarter has been their best quarter. Scoring totals. Calgary defense, on the other hand, has been their worst quarter. They've given up the most points.
Ham has a first down to Ellis.
And completes it to Greg Ellis down the 7-yard
Play action really seems to work well for the Eskimos. I mean, they have such a good running game that everybody has to respect it. So when they do the fakes up the middle, they fake the Michael Souls right there, go to the outside, and boy, you freeze those linebackers, and they have no chance to get underneath the out to an inside receiver like Craig Ellis.
Ellis approaching 100 yards receiving. 7 catches, 87 yards. No one to throw to. Now Ham looks to the end zone. And Richards, the intended receiver, but he was covered by Hopkins, and Ham threw it a little long.
Richards, the intended receiver.
Initially, Ham wanted to go to Tony Hunter, but Ronnie Hopkins had a ball handcuffed in the corner there.
On the afternoon, Tracy Ham has been good on 15 of 29 for 172 yards and a pair of touchdowns.
It's about his average, 51% on the day, 15 to 29.
Second and goal to go. Eskimos at the Calgary 7. Tracy Ham, the quarterback draw, and scores. The Eskimos really do have it all.
Design play by Tracy Ham. There you see the lineman set up, quick pass block, and then they block for the run downfield. Greg Peterson cannot make the saving tackle. A nice quarterback draw and a nice drive by Tracy Ham, and they have this thing pretty much in control.
Great job on the line. Nice job, Tracy.
The Eskimos out in front of the Calgary Stampeders. It is now 31-7 as Ham directs his third touchdown march. 31-7. From 7 yards away, here's Tracy.
Nice job by Pierre Bercheval, number 54. Watch how he opens the hole there. No chance. Craig Peterson will not make that kind of a tackle on Tracy Ham at the goal line, and Tracy Ham picks up his 4th touchdown rushing. 1989, and the Eskimos comfortably ahead 31-7. If I was Joe Farragelli at this point, I'd be giving Rick Warman a chance to warm up and get in the ball game. And I think that's exactly what he's doing over the sidelines.
31-7, the Eskimos in front of the Stampeders as we await the kickoff from Marco Sinclair. Rick Warman. It's nice when the coach starts to listen to you. Late, Coach Farragelli obviously paying close attention.
That's right.
We'll have TSN tuned in there on the sidelines and listening to every word you say.
He's got the headset on. Yeah, he's locked into me. Now, forget the spotters up in the booth. He and Joe and I are in touch today.
47 yards, 6 plays, and another touchdown for the Eskimos as Hopkins starts out on the return for Calgary. They try the wide side of the field, and Hopkins gets out. as he cuts back into the middle to the 46. Ruck and McLean making the tackle.
Ron Hopkins on the return. He gets 26 yards up to the 46-yard line.
Ronnie Hopkins always, game after game, provides his offense with some good field position from his kickoff returns. You saw that graphic a few seconds ago, and that was a 100-yard touchdown run in the opening game this year against the Saskatchewan Roughriders.
Barrett for Alexander. Just short of the first down. Stanley Blair made the stop.
Andre Alexander, all 5'5", who cuts underneath the middle to pick up his first catch of the game this afternoon. Last week against Hamilton, scored his first touchdown in the Canadian Football League, a 19-yard reception from Tom Forrest.
10-10 remaining in the final quarter. This is 2nd and 1 to go. Calgary trying to get across the 55 for the first down. Lorenzo Graham has the first. Stopped at the 50 by Michel Bourgeot and Danny Bass.
Toaster is finished for the day. Looks as though it's the cap.
Getting a little suntan.
Yep, get a few rays when he has to take that shirt off in the ring.
First down Calgary. Just shy of the 50. Barrett sees an opening. It closes quickly. Stu Hill made the tackle on Barrett.
You know what, though, John? I mean, you said it perfectly. Season opening. I mean, it did look open for a minute, but those linebackers react so quickly. Nice hole up the middle initial for Danny Barrett, but then Danny Bass pushes the referee or tries to get him out of the way. That's the best block they've thrown today on Danny Bass.
Second and 8. Stampeders. The Eskimo 49. Graham has a first down at the 25. Got in behind McLean, number 45.
That's a matchup that they would like to have. Lorenzo Graham, 33, against Mike McLean, the linebacker, getting a chance to play. Mike McLean in his 4th year with the club from the University of Alberta just cannot stay with Lorenzo Graham, and that's a nice catch. Nice to stay in bounds.
27 yards for the Stampeders, who have a first down at the Eskimo 24. Barrett looking deep for Smith. Too well covered. Andre Francis, number 14, was with Brock Smith that time.
Andre Francis back cover.
Jerome Erdman, number 19, Sorry Leith, in at safety for Mike Hildebrand.
Well, I mean, I think this is a great idea. You know, they've got the game in control. Give the other guys a chance to play. It keeps everybody happy. Jerome Erdman's in. Mike McLean is in. Michel Bourgeot is in on that defensive line. Of course, he's in because the Toaster is hurt.
Second and 10. Stampeders at the 25. The charge is on. McLean got through. One-handed catch by Willis. He was Obi. Barrett paying the price again. Is that McLean getting through that time?
It certainly was. Number 45, Mike McLean. You know, the CFL draft that they have every year, interesting. If we'll watch Larry Willis, nice one-hander, but unfortunately out of bounds. But CFL draft every year, most of the general managers and scouts will tell you anybody in the first 3 or 4 rounds has a chance to make your team. Anybody after that, it's kind of a token draft. Mike McLean was a 9th rounder that's made it with this Eskimo club for 4 years and done a nice job year after year on the special team.
Full blitz on 3rd and 10, and Barrett missed Willis. Flag down.
Now Danny Bass is going to get a late hit call here. Barrett gave him a bit of a friendly nudge and said, I know it wasn't that bad, Danny, but they got you.
Ken Lazarek, the referee this afternoon, making a quick decision and call there. So the Stampeders drive not quite over.
Looking the passer, number 30, Edmonton. First down.
Enos Jackson taking on a couple of Stampeders down there.
Now this is great.
For one.
Now Enos is 5'9", 175, and he's after Lloyd Fairbanks, 6'4", 250. I guess Enos, he's not afraid of anybody, is he? That's what happens when you win Defensive Player of the Week.
He had 3 ICs last week.
Yeah, the chest puffs out a little bit. Of course, we've seen them now 3 weeks in a row.
Are they getting better by the week, these Eskimos?
I think the defense is getting better.
7:31 to play in the fourth quarter. The Eskimos leading at 31-7. Stampeders with a first down at the Edmonton 12. Toner has the touchdown. Nice catch. Barrett right on target. Marshall Toner's first of the season.
Oh, nice job by the offensive line to give Danny Barrett time to throw, and boy, that's all any quarterback asks for. Give me an opportunity to sit back in the pocket and pick out a receiver, and I'll find you one. Marshall Toner, nice catch. His first touchdown of 89. And the horse gets to run a little bit, stretch his legs.
Mark McLaughlin adds the single point. He has not been a very busy kicker this afternoon. Marshall Toner has his first of the season. The Calgary Stampeders have picked up another score, but they are still in arrears to the Edmonton Eskimos. 31-14 with 7 minutes to play in the fourth. Marshall Toner has the Stampeders' second touchdown of the afternoon, but Calgary still has a long way to battle back against the Edmonton Eskimos. Ready for the Stampeder kickoff. 6 plays, 64 yards, finished off by the Toner 12-yard touchdown catch. Now Lee Pedersen. Short kick here.
Kick it deep.
Kick it deep.
Kick it deep.
On the return. This is Keith Wright. And he was nailed. Flag is down. I think Tony Spallettini got through. This was a great hit on Keith Wright.
Don Wilson, number 20, took a great shot at Dan Wicklow and knocked him down in the jaw with one forearm. And that's what the roughing penalty is going to be all about. Boy, those special teams are rough.
You loved to play special teams in your day, though, didn't you?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Coach, put me in.
Yeah,
I can hear you.
Put me in.
I can hear you on the sidelines to this day.
And they said, Leaf, can you block? I said, no. They said, can you tackle? I said, no. And they said, well, why do you want to play special teams? Because you can't run.
Sneaky quickness, though.
Oh, sneaky quick, yeah. I like night games. Used to make me look faster out there.
Unnecessary roughness. Number 20, Edmonton. First down.
He gave Dan Wicklow, we're talking about Don Wilson now, he gave him a shot in the jaw.
Here's the hit, though. Watch this.
At the 12-yard line,
Spallettini cut out the feet and cut him right into.
I think the Prairie did him a favor by catching him.
First down, Edmonton. It's Warman at quarterback. Same old story. Reggie Taylor running the ball. Peterson and Ron Hopkins making the stop.
Rick Warman on the season, 49%, 4 interceptions, 4 touchdowns. The ideal backup quarterback at Tracy Ham gives teams a different look when they want to put him in there. More of a drop-back passer, not the kind of guy that will run all over the field, but he did a great job in a game we did earlier this season out at BC Place when they defeated the BC Lions. He came in the second half.
He actually won the game, didn't he?
Yep.
Blake Marshall carries.
Blake Marshall on first down.
And the tank was there to make the tackle once more.
Prairie and Landry out the stop. to the 31. Second down, 6.
This will be 2nd and 7 for the Eskimos. That across the 30 at the 31 now. Warman won't get it away. Price was there, and so was the Tank.
Well, the Tanks had some luck coming up the middle today on the blitzes. Had a sack early in the game, and now get some more pressure with some help from Mitchell Price. But you really see the difference in the two quarterbacks. Rick Warman, not the runner, of course, that Tracy Ham is. Not many quarterbacks are. But he was not able to elude that rush, and so they pick up the sack.
8 tackles for Tank on the afternoon. The Eskimos will kick it away as a result of the sack. 31-14. Edmonton leading Calgary with 5:24 to play in the fourth quarter. This is Andre Alexander. Had difficulties early, has looked better on kick return since. But he is wrestled down and pushed back to the 40 by Blake Dermott, number 50.
Blake Dermott, 270. Andre Alexander, 160. A little mismatch.
A little mismatch, about 110 pounds. At McMahon Stadium, a perfect afternoon for football. The Stampeders are not enjoying themselves as the Eskimos lead by a bunch. Our game of the week on TSN. The Stampeders and the Eskimos, the Labor Day Classic at McMahon. 5:08 to go. Edmonton in control of things from the outset. Turnovers. Too much for the Stampeders to overcome so far.
What do you like tonight in Hamilton, Wellesley? We got the Argonauts and the Ticats later this evening at Ivor Wynne.
I wonder who is ready to win a game. Might be a pretty good ball game. I'll take the Ticats.
I know Earl Winfield's going to be back playing tonight. I think Rod Skillman's back in the lineup. Toronto, a real mystery this year with so much talent on offense, how they have not been able to score more points. A little inconsistencies with Bob Milovich, and I believe that. The players, receivers have certainly dropped some balls, and the quarterbacks. It should be an interesting one. I hope there's a nice Labor Day crowd at Ivor Wynne Stadium.
Derek McAdoo will be back in the lineup for the Tiger Cats as well. Barrett has time to throw. Larry Willis down the line, and a flag is down back near the 50.
Pass interference. Edmonton number 5. First down, Calgary.
So the drive continues for the Stampeders. Stanley Blair caught on Willis.
Well, as Larry Willis turns it upfield, and Stanley Blair knows he's been had on the out and up. Fires that cast up into the face mask, and good call by the referees. You see how fast he got help from his friends, though, when he was in trouble? I mean, the middle safety was over. Jerome Herdman, Don Wilson was over. They've got some kind of speed in that secondary.
From the 47, Stampeders first down. Barrett looking to the far side. No catch. Willis says he had it.
You know, Andre Francis is such a good one-on-one cornerback. I'm a big fan of his. And Larry Willis running the out pattern. I mean, Francis was there before Willis made the break. He just read it so quickly. Of course, Willis couldn't come up with a catch. Andre Francis coming over, as we told you so many times this year, in that huge trade for Matt Dunnigan. There's Jerome Erdman. He gets a chance to play in the middle.
2nd and 10, Stampeders, Edmonton 47. Barrett hit as he throws for Alexander. It's over his head. And Barrett has paid the price this afternoon. Bass was through. Might need a little time in the tub tonight, Dan Barrett.
Boy, he has really taken a pounding. You know, your heart has to go out to a guy like him who time after time stands in there, knows he's going to get hit, nothing he can do, and worst thing about it is you're losing the game.
31-14. Eskimos leading the Stampeders. 3rd and 10 as the Stampeders go gambling here. Smith had it and dropped it. Stanley Blair was with him. Brock Smith should have made the catch.
Brock Smith. The Eskimos take over on down.
Well, you can't fault Danny Barrett on that one. Nice delivery. Kind of says it all, the way the Stampeders have gone today.
Flag down, though, Lee. Maybe something will help out the Stampeders here.
Why do I think Braswell's involved?
Objection or conduct, number 44, Edmonton.
So they pick up a first down on this drive as they did on the last one with a penalty. Danny Bass on the roughing the passer. No, they don't get. Play was over, so they just lose 15.
You know he's in the ball game, Jeff Braswell.
Yeah.
Warman at quarterback. Good fake, rolling right, and has a man near the 51. Tom Richards.
Tom Richards over the 49-yard line.
First catch of the game for Tom Richards.
I was just thinking, I didn't think he caught one this afternoon. 14-yard reception for Tommy Richards.
First down.
26 on the season.
Eskimos with a first down at the 49. This is Reggie Taylor.
Take back to Reggie Taylor.
Mitchell Price in on the tackle. 3 minutes. The whistle is out on the field with 2:47 to go. And Calgary a long way to come back against their rivals from the north. Coming up on TSN, the Cards and the Expos immediately following our football afternoon here. Come on, Expos, let's get it going here.
Did they pick up a game yesterday? Did they not? That win over
They're
LA?
3 back, I believe.
Cubbies lost. Good.
It'd be a great fall for baseball fans.
Well, you and I have talked about this before. Now, baseball, I don't know if they're ready for this one. An all-Canadian World Series now.
Well, there's still a little ways to go in the season, about 26 or so days. And nothing is locked up for the Blue Jays either, in spite of the fact that they are leading the way now after Cito Gaston has taken the club and turned things around. Terrific guy, Cito Gaston.
Yeah, he really is. And
he's doing the job, Lee.
For a guy that they didn't want, you know, he's turned out to be a pretty good manager, hasn't he?
The non-candidate.
The non-candidate that they will review at the end of the season.
2:43 to play. The Eskimos in front of the Stampeders, 31-14. Edmonton with the ball on 2nd and 9. Good fake by Warman. Sinkar. Now, does he make the catch?
Yeah, I think he did.
All right, that's his first of the year.
Is it? Pass complete to Marco Sinkar.
Wow. Marco Sinkar. How many years now for Marco? 10 years in the league?
At the Calgary 51.
10 years, 1 year in Hamilton.
Yep. He was with me in Hamilton 1980. We went to the Grey Cup against these Eskimos who hammered us nicely 48-10.
This is Taylor.
Reggie Taylor.
And he's close to 5 yards.
Marco a little disappointed this year at the lack of playing time, but you know, as I said to some of the Edmonton guys, it happens to all guys that are around that 10-year mark. You know, you got a guy like Tom Richards who is going to get better and better each game and each year, and you've got to give him some playing time. And of course, Craig Ellis is your leading receiver, so where do you play Marco? I think it's just a fact of life that that's the way things go, and he has to make the best of it.
2nd and 6 for the Eskimos. Warman over the middle. Sinkar 2 in a row as he cuts in and gets down to the 35.
Well, I tell you, old Marco's got some experience and some smarts, though, and you saw it there. He saw David McCreary, the inside safety, who normally covers him, coming on the blitz. He yelled at Warman right away, That means that Peterson's got to come over it. Marco got inside. Warman saw it and hit him. That is experience, and that's why Marco's had a great career in the CFL. He understands how to play that inside slot back position.
This is Blake Marshall. And Marshall gets inside the 30 to about the 27, stopped by Howard Fields. John Mandrich asked us to congratulate his girlfriend, Lisetta Hansen, on winning the Miss Canada Middleweight Bodybuilding Championship over the weekend. And when John Mandrich asks us to do something, we usually do. So congratulations, Lisetta. I wonder if she can bench press the big guy. What do you think?
I don't know.
Maybe a big guy.
Maybe occasionally.
Reggie Taylor stopped by Cafasso, but not before he had gained the first down.
Apparently the Juice, John Mandrich's brother, is a little closer to signing with the Green Bay Packers, they were telling me yesterday.
Any way you look at it, he's going to be a very rich young man.
Yeah, it's either now or later. Pay me now or pay me later.
Down to the final minute in Calgary. Rick Warman for Richards. And no catch. Coverage supplied by the veteran Howard Fields. Next week, final meeting of the season for the Stampeders and the Eskimos will be at Commonwealth Stadium. Actually, later this week. It's Friday night. So the Eskimos have played a lot of football in the last week or so. And a lot of winning football. Blake Marshall makes the catch near the 15.
That's complete to Blake Marshall. That's on the 15-yard line.
Gary Durchik handling the offensive line for the Eskimos, a former head coach in Canadian football.
Took over from Joe Gallant in Montreal 2 years ago.
It was quick to point out the number of plays the Eskimo offense ran last week against the Saskatchewan Roughriders. 43 in the first half, 43 in the second, 86 plays. Awfully tough on a defense. They must be close here today, too. Blake Marshall stopped by Bourgeau.
Well, when you consider that in the low 70s is about normal for an offense in a day, that they've had 3 weeks in a row where they've been well over 80 plays.
Marshall on the carry.
Now 30 seconds left at McMahon.
That's quite true. Last week with that 86 plays, I thought Saskatchewan's defense was just dead tired at the end of that game.
The Eskimos against Saskatchewan last week scored a lot of points late in the game. The Roughriders were close, but they were simply overpowered late in the game. Stampeders hold the Eskimos from a first down. And will take over on down, so that'll be a turnover going the other way. But Calgary has turned it over 9 times to the Eskimos this afternoon. 31-14. They're still coming at Barrett, and they get him again.
It's not been a fun day for the quarterback, Danny Barrett. He has been the last line of defense on all those blitzes this afternoon, and he has taken a pounding.
Now 17 seconds to go. A reminder, next Sunday we're at Winnipeg Stadium to watch Mike Riley's Blue Bombers against Joe Gallant's BC Lions.
Now, why in the world would the Eskimos at 31-14 call a timeout here on the last play of the game?
I have not the answer to that.
I haven't either. I mean, why don't they let the clock run out? And you know, the Stampeders could have just let it run out with 17 to go and 20 on the time clock. I fail to understand that logic. That's why I'm here. not on the sidelines. As you have mentioned many times, it's probably just as well that I'm not on the sidelines.
I can't picture you down there on the sidelines.
Now, Bruce Lemmerman told me last week if he ever becomes a head coach, I'm his offensive coordinator.
Roughing the kicker, flag down as Matic lies on his back in the end zone.
So now they call a timeout. The kicker gets hurt. That's his kicking foot, too. He's a lefty. Well, they get the roughing call, so we won't have to kick it again anyway. That's the good part. Let's see who comes in and rolls on his ankle. Oh, man, that looks ugly. Michael Souls, number 32. I'm surprised he's walking off the field, aren't you?
Well, he seems all right. Souls came over to ask how he was. Apparently not too seriously hurt. Lee Pedersen, offensive coordinator.
Wouldn't that be something?
What would you institute?
I tell you what, there wouldn't be too many dive plays up the middle.
Maybe you should look for a job with the Argos.
Yeah, Obi, what do you think? I think Ralph could pay me enough. No, I don't think so. Oh, well.
31-14, the Eskimos have it in the bag at McMahon once more. This Labor Day series favors the Eskimos quite substantially.
Contact the kicker, number 32 Edmonton, third down repeated.
Mark McLaughlin, the place kicker, will do the punting as Brent Matic gets some attention.
Not a bad kick for the backup. Tony Hunter. And a flag down. Spallettini was a little anxious, number 27. Can't end the game on a penalty unless it's declined.
No yards. Calgary decline.
That's the old ball game.
The old ball game for another Labor Day Monday. Well, the Edmonton Eskimos full value for their victory once again as they move to 8-1 in the Western Conference. The Calgary Stampeders 5-4. They're still in second place. That's the good news.
Bad news is the Eskimos are going to be tough to catch from here on in. Just about the halfway point in the season, 8-1. That is 3 victories ahead of the Calgary Stampeders.
And the bad news as well, if you think you're a contender and you want to measure yourself against the better teams, the Calgary Stampeders came up quite a bit short against the #1 team in the country.
The Edmonton Eskimos have dispatched the Hamilton Tiger Cats, the Saskatchewan Roughriders, and the Calgary Stampeders in successive weeks. And really, those were the teams that were really challenging the Eskimos for overall top spot or overall potential as the top team in Canadian football. So those 3 out of here for now.
I agree. You know, the only thing, they can't beat the Argonauts in the Sky Dome or in Toronto. I mean, that's been the Achilles heel for them for the last 5 or 6 years, and you never know. That's where the Grey Cup's going to be this year. So we'll wait to see what happens.
Adonis Williams heads to the sidelines. The toaster shaken up in this one, but I'll bet he'll be back rather quickly for the Edmonton Eskimos.
I hope so.
The final 31-14 favors the Edmonton Eskimos over the Calgary Stampeders, and that is our TSN Game of the Week. We'll pick a player of the game coming up after this.
It's time now for the TSN Turning Point, brought to you today by Remington. A lot of turning points in this game, most of them center around the Calgary turnovers. 8 of them in total. Here was one in the second quarter. Danny Barrett looking down the field, and there is Stanley Blair to take the football away from Larry Willis. Again, one of 8 turnovers in the ball game, and there were 6 in the first half that were really key to the Eskimos getting 21 points, and they went on to the 31-14 win. Cash donation to be made to amateur sports on behalf of TSN and Remington, the grooming company. Our Foster's MVP game star is Tracy Ham, who put on such a great show once again. Here's a little touchdown run on a quarterback draw of 7 yards in the fourth quarter that salted away this 31-14 victory. And Tracy Ham joins us now. You had not an easy time of it at all. You had some good field position to take advantage of in the first half, but that's a tough Calgary defense.
Well, the offense, we struggled a little early. I felt like we had opportunities that we should have took advantage of, but the defense, again, was the story. You know, they gave us the ball in good field position throughout the whole game, and when our defense does that, we should put more points on the board, but you can't complain about 31 points, I guess.
All right, Tracy, congratulations. Good luck Friday night against Calgary.
Thank you.
All right, Tracy Ham and the Edmonton Eskimos, 31-14 winners over the Calgary Stampeders. They'll go at it once again on Friday night at Commonwealth Stadium. Our next game will be Sunday in Winnipeg. It'll be the BC Lions against the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. We'll start it off at 2:30 Eastern Time. Immediately following is the Montreal Expos at the St. Louis Cardinals. That's coming up as soon as this football game is over. Once again, the final score from Calgary, the Eskimos 31, the Stampeders 14. Thanks for joining us. So long from McMahon Stadium. TSN has presented the Foster's CFL Game of the Week. Brought to you by Foster's Lager, proud to bring you the best in the CFL.